Welcome to Upchin Field inside U.S. Airways Center, home of the two-time defending Arena Bowl champion Arizona Rattlers. Tonight, in a West Division matchup, the unbeaten 5-0 Rattlers host the San Antonio Talons, who won their first game of the season last week in convincing fashion. Hello everybody, Chris Harris here, and welcome to Rattlers pregame show on Cox 7. Tonight we'll break down the matchup between Arizona and San Antonio. Also, we'll catch up with the Rattlers offensive and defensive linemen, and they'll talk about what life is like inside the trenches, and I'll tell you what, that's big boy football down in there. Also, we'll catch up with some of the newest Rattlers who have had a huge impact in a short amount of time. Let's now hear from Rattlers head coach Kevin Guy and hear what he has to say about the Rattlers' home field advantage playing here in the Snake Pit.
I feel like playing in front of our fans in Snake Pit is a huge advantage for us. You know, I saw a number the other day where something like 34-5 or 35-5, whatever it is, in the last 3 years at home, and I think that says a lot about our environment, this organization, and our fan base. And you know, I thought the level, you know, we got a tight game last week with Pittsburgh, and I thought the noise level last week, especially in the fourth quarter, was hard for them to deal with.
All right, let's now head upstairs to the guys calling the action for tonight's game. Kevin Ray and Dale Hellstray, and guys, they have run the gauntlet here early in the season with this schedule. Tonight as a team, San Antonio, it looks like a winnable game, but it also could be a trap game considering all the tough teams they've played already.
Well, no doubt about it, Chris. And Dale, you know this all too well from your playing days. It's one of those weeks, and when you look on the schedule as a head coach, you get very nervous. Not so much because of how good your opponent is, because you know because of their inferiority and perhaps their record, your team will start looking past them.
Bottom line is there are certain games you have to win because you're the better team. You're not going to be at the same emotional pitch. You're not going to be at the same mental pitch every week of the football season. There's some games, and this is one of the weeks, that you just have to win because you're the better team.
And they have been playing on a very high emotional pitch the last 5 weeks as we go back looking at last week's big victory. And it was a big matchup for a number of reasons. Pittsburgh coming in, trying to make kind of a name for themselves. They've gotten the attention of everyone around the league, how well they have played, and they gave the Rattlers every bit that they wanted.
Well, I'm talking to Coach Guy this week. He feels that at the end of the season, barring injuries, Pittsburgh just might be the best team in the East, and so they might see them again in that Arena Bowl. So he was very happy with the results of last week and finding a way to win. At the end of the day, when you're a good football team, you find a way to win.
Let's see how last week's victory impacted the overall standings here for the Rattlers as we take a peek at the National Conference first. Rattlers again remaining unbeaten and trying to get some distance between themselves. Oddly enough, tonight's the first, quote, division game as San Antonio comes to town off of their first victory. The Pacific Division right now a battle between Spokane and San Jose, while Portland's still seeking their first victory on the season. Now, as Chris pointed out, they have had a heavy home schedule. Well, you know what that means. The road is going to be their friend, hopefully, over the next several weeks.
You see the schedule right here, a lot of road games, and they got a little taste of it a couple weeks ago. They handled it the right way, and again, as a coaching staff, that's the one thing you want to see. Is our team mature enough to get on a plane, go stay in a hotel, have some free time, be on the road, and face hostile fans? They're 1 for 1 in that regard.
Well, when Pittsburgh visited last week, also returning here to the Snake Pit was Virgil Gray, who helped man this secondary to 2 Arena Bowl titles, but he's gone. Jeremy Kellum comes in, and Kevin Guy couldn't be happier with the play of his young defensive back.
He's done a really nice job. You see him here. He's got great makeup speed. He's got a great demeanor for an arena football defensive back. You have to have such a short memory because you are going to get beat. The rules are in place to score points. So if you're a defensive player, you have to have a very short memory along with a lot of confidence. Jeremy Kellum fits that bill.
Well, this is a secondary and a kick coverage unit that will be tested and challenged again tonight. DJ Stevens coming in out of San Antonio. He is the league's all-purpose return man and racking up some big numbers. 12 touchdowns on the season. He has 1 kick return. So Virgil Gray got a return on them last week, so you can bet they'll be focused in here this evening.
Well, he actually had 2, and if you talk to the coaching staff, the one thing they were unhappy with last week is really the play of the entire special teams, whether it's onside kicks, whether it's kick coverage, coverage, whether it's PATs. It's something they focused a lot on this week.
Well, special teams taking a little more focus here tonight, Dale. You've got a story regarding the Rattlers kicker, already kind of shaky the last couple of weeks, and things have gotten even shakier a couple hours ago.
It did, and Rantanamore, the kicker for the beginning of the season, had been warned by Coach Guy. There's been some things off the field that he's done that the coaching staff's not real happy with, and they've warned him. And on Monday, it was a face-to-face meeting in front of the team. Cut it out. Well, today he was riding his motorcycle again, which he was warned not to do. Got in an accident. He is fine. But Coach Guy, trying to send a message to the rest of the team, said really nobody's irreplaceable. He will not be playing tonight. And so that's the way Coach Guy keeps these guys on edge, is that really nobody's irreplaceable, especially if you're not playing at a very high level.
And ironically, talk about timing is everything, as you see young Barth, the kicker out of North Carolina, they had him scheduled to come in to do a tryout anyway. So as, again, fate would have it, Barth is going to be kicking in his first Arena League game. Rantanamore is out tonight and could be out for the foreseeable future.
It'll be really interesting to see how it goes. Coach Guy said, I don't know if this is the guy, but we're going to give him a shot tonight. And bottom line, in this league, if you're not playing at a very high level, you have to follow the letter of the law. And to hear that Rantanamore has been going off the beaten path a little bit as a rookie kicker who struggled, albeit with some bad operations on extra points and things like that, you cannot do that on a championship-winning football team.
And Chris, that move alone might be enough to lock in the rest of the team's focus tonight when they take on this one-win San Antonio team.
Guys, it will be interesting to see how that kicker story unfolds here this evening. Thank you so much. All right, now tonight and all season long, I want those of you at home to be a part of our broadcast as well with the Cox 7 Rattlers social media. You can join us on Facebook and Twitter. And for more on that, we now bring in the fourth member of our team, our social media correspondent, Lindsay Smith. Lindsay?
Thanks, Chris. We're ready to get the conversation started online. So fans, as we prepare to take on the Talons, I want to know what your bold game predictions are. You can send them to me on Facebook at Cox 7 Arizona Sports or on Twitter at Cox 7 Arizona. Let's talk some Rattlers football. Guys?
Thank you so much, Lindsay. All right, when we come back, we catch up with the big fellows up front who try to win the line of scrimmage on each and every play. Their success is key with this Rattlers team. No question about it. We'll have their story when we come back right here on the pregame show on Cox 7.
The Auction Indian community and Troon Golf invite you to tee up a pure golf experience at Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club. Ranked as one of the top 10 best courses you can play in Arizona by Golf Week, Auction Southern Dunes is known for its relaxed atmosphere, premier course conditions, and spectacular service. Just 30 minutes south of Sky Harbor Airport, Auction Southern Dunes features stunning golf and a casual yet elegant restaurant. Visit us at golfsoutherndunes.com for the best available rates. Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club, a pure golf experience.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy one and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the 2-time defending 4-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a 3rd straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
Great tickets to the Sunday, May 18th game at 3 o'clock with Spokane, and the rest of the Rattlers home games are still available. Help protect the Snake Pit by reserving your tickets today. Go to azrattlers.com or call 602-514-TDTD. Be a part of the action. They're the unsung heroes of the team, the men that man the offensive and defensive line. The success or failure of every single play up front depends on these Warriors and their brand of smash mouth football.
Life in the trenches. I once read a saying that in order to be a big man, you have to understand that life gets real between the A and B gaps.
1, 2, 3, dominate!
Gritty, rough. It takes a tough man to take on that job.
1, 2, 3, all in!
That's why you play the game, to be physical, and it doesn't get more physical than inside in the trenches. Always need to keep your motor going and pretty much just defeat the guy that's in front of you.
It's a physical game, I'm a skill guy, but I love watching the linemen.
The success of the skill players and the team relies heavily on the big fellas up front, winning the line of scrimmage.
That's where it all starts. The whole game starts the line of scrimmage. Defensive players, we have a mindset here on the Rattlers playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Coach always says, change that line of scrimmage.
It's definitely physically demanding each and every play, but I think you got to create a mindset to where, you're tough every play.
From a defensive line standpoint, they are the seek and destroyers. They are the attackers. They're the hunters. The other side of the ball, you've got to have a sense of protection, overseers, security. There's two different mindsets, I think, that go on and collide to create the perfect storm.
It's like a boxing match every time. You have to have a good technique, use your hands, and if you can, throw a few insults in there too.
We want a pass rush that's going to be relentless, and then I like an offensive line that's nasty, that we get downfield on runs and screens and try to take some heads off. So.
After coaching both lines the past few years, this season Connie Kawhi is strictly on the offensive side, while former Tampa Bay head coach and new Rattlers assistant Dave Ewert takes over the defensive front.
Coach brought a whole new perspective on our pass rush. The drills that we've been doing, his constant coaching, on and off the field has really helped us to try to take it to the next level. That's a huge difference. He's a fantastic coach, and having one-on-one attention with him really helps. You can obviously see now with our offensive line, we're making great strides, and with his sole attention, it's really helped.
Linemen are a selfless, tight-knit group by nature, doing the dirty work without getting much recognition.
Without us, you can't have the guys going out on routes, quarterbacks making the great throws. We're essentially that barrier that holds up so we can make the plays happen. Being a lineman, be it offensive or defensive, you're not really out there for the glory. My glory comes at the end of the season when I get to hold a trophy on top of my head and take pictures with it.
Hawthorne and the Rattlers have done just that, winning the last 2 Arena Bowls, and they're on pace right now to win it all once again this season. All right, when we come back, we catch up with the Rattlers, once again making a difference in the community as some of the guys paid a visit to the Boys and Girls Club in Mesa. We'll have that story when the Rattlers pregame show on Cox 7 continues in just a moment.
I like to go out on the town, hit the floor, and double down. Casino, Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two, catch a game
with my crew. Casino, Arizona, win your way. Here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out today.
How do the Arizona Rattlers kick off their season? By improving their training skills at Fast Foothills Acceleration and Sports Training, where you can perfect your speed, agility, strength. By honing in on these key skills, you will have the winning edge and ability to compete at the highest of levels. Foothills Sports Medicine. Train like the pros, perform like the pros.
The 2014-2015 Sidewinders calendar is on sale now. The Sidewinders teamed up with Lawless Denim and Company at Cityscape for this season's calendar. Copies are limited, so get yours early. The calendars are being sold in the team shop at games and through the Rattlers retail stores. The Rattlers continue to make their mark in the community, and earlier this week, they paid a visit to the Boys and Girls Club in Mesa. The Rattlers contingent included Michael Huey, Kerry Reed, Rod Windsor, and Marquise Floyd. The players and kids had a great time just hanging out and playing kickball and shooting some hoops.
Let's go.
Really didn't have that growing up. And, you know, kids need that. Kids need that constructive, you know, environment where you see guys make it and come back and give back to the community. I think it's very important because kids need to see that growing up.
These kids don't really have the opportunity to do these things at home or at other types of, you know, after-school care programs. Most of our kids come from families that are single-parent families, to where, you know, when they go home at night, they're probably just hanging out in front of the TV, you know, causing trouble out in the neighborhoods. What we like to do is kind of give them a safe place they can come. They hang out with their friends from school, meet other kids that they don't really get to interact with outside the Boys and Girls Club, and kind of build like the long-lasting friendships that we try to strive for.
These kids come to the Boys and Girls Club and all they do is routine things. So just to give them just a special treat to meet a professional athlete and somebody they might just see on TV and maybe look up to as a role model and just give back to the Phoenix community, man, is always a great thing.
If you are interested in the summer program at the Grant Woods Boys and Girls Club in Mesa, please go online for more information at clubzone.org or call Chris Quasula at 480-844-0963. All right, when we come back, we'll get you caught up on the rest of the action taking place this weekend in the Arena Football League and the news about another rock and roll frontman possibly getting involved with an AFL team. Find out who that motley man is when we come back.
For document solutions for your business, trust the leader, All Copy Products. Our managed print services solution provides a worry-free printing environment, making your business more efficient and saving you money. Learn more now at allcopyproducts.com. For document solutions for your business, trust the leader, All Copy Products. Our managed print services solution provides a worry-free printing environment, making your business more efficient and saving you money. Learn more now at allcopyproducts.com.
Hey Rattler fans, I'm Chris Coraggio. Did you know that the busiest orthopedic hospital in the Valley is now the official hospital of your Arizona Rattlers? I'm talking about Oasis Hospital, which transforms the healthcare experience. They treat their patients just like family. And now they're part of the Rattlers family. Oasis is thrilled to partner up with the most exciting team in all of the Arena League. To learn more about Oasis Hospital, visit their website, oasishospital.com. And go Rattlers!
Welcome back to Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center, everybody. Let's now take you around the Arena Football League. Get you caught up on all the action taking place in Week 7. In Cleveland, the Gladiators, the only undefeated team remaining besides the Rattlers, are hosting Pittsburgh, and they lead right now at the half, 38-21. In Jacksonville this week, Word is that the rock and roll ownership movement in the AFL might be gaining more traction. What started years ago with John Bon Jovi and the Philadelphia Soul, and this year the LA Kiss Group, led by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, and now it appears Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil is interested in a minority piece of the Sharks. If he does, Aaron Garcia won't be there. Garcia is no longer with the Sharks after being in Jacksonville for 2 weeks, and he was the starting quarterback last week as well. In that game, they are at the half with Jacksonville up front. In Orlando, the Predators, the leaders of the South Division, they are hosting New Orleans. In Tampa Bay, the Storm, who have dropped 2 in a row, are hosting Spokane, and they lead late in the second quarter of that game. Later tonight, the Kiss, who scored only 12 points in their loss last week at Iowa, try to get back on track, but it won't be easy against San Jose. And then tomorrow afternoon, the AFL returns to ESPN2 when Philadelphia hosts Iowa. Let's now take a look at this season's first Arena Bowl V Power Rankings. And sitting on top are your Arizona Rattlers, followed by the Gladiators. Pittsburgh Power, they were just in town here last week. They check in at number 3. Iowa at number 4. Spokane checks in at 5. San Jose 6. And Orlando, the Predators, at 4 and 2, are at number 7. Let's now check in what's going on in the social media scene, and that means Lindsay Smith. What do you got, Lindsay?
Well, fans, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Our 3-time Super Bowl winning champion color analyst, Dale Hellestrey, is here to answer any AFL-related questions you may have. You can Facebook them to me at Cox7 Arizona Sports or tweet them to me at Cox7 Arizona. We'll pick one to answer live in the third quarter, and if it's your question that's chosen, you'll win a t-shirt autographed by Tyson Poots.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. All right, when the Rattlers pregame show on Cox 7 continues, we're going to introduce you to some of the new faces on this year's team, and they have made a huge impact already this season. We'll have that story when we come back.
I like to go out on the town, hit the floor, and double down. Casino, Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two, catch a game
With my crew. Casino, Arizona, win your way. Here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out today.
On the next episode of Step Outside, landscape architect Pete Curie brings French country to the Southwest. Tune in to see how Pete uses flagstone, flowers, and turf to create a quaint Paris courtyard in the desert. Step Outside with Pete Curie, Sunday at 8, only on Cox 7, and designed with the desert in mind. Download the Cox 7 app for Step Outside landscaping videos and professional gardening advice at your fingertips.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the 2-time defending 4-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a 3rd straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
Welcome back to Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center, everybody, as Fang takes the field. Of the 24 players on the Rattlers roster this year, 10 of them are new to Arizona. Those 10 are learning the Rattler way of doing business, which means being successful and winning championships.
Oh, the expectations are high. I mean, you don't want to think about the past, but you know that anything less than getting to the Arena Bowl is it's failures.
When you have coaches and the owners and trainers and everyone demands a lot, and it's good pressure. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's good pressure to put on you to be able to perform each and every day. It's no days off. Every day is a grind. They expect the best, and and that's why who they are.
One of Vic Hall's teammates in Chicago last year is center Jeff Maddox, who has fit in nicely, trying to replace last year's AFL Offensive Lineman of the Year, Billy Eisenhart, who retired after last season.
Well, it's great. You know, you come from teams where last year we lost our owner, and the year before that I came from Cleveland, and that was a strike year for the Arena League. And you know, it's great coming out here and having stability, a great owner, great coaching staff, and you know, the facility we have and stuff, so it's awesome.
The coaches have done a great job of incorporating fullback Alex Singleton, who has rushed for a touchdown in every game this season. Singleton has had to learn the nuances of not only running, but blocking as well.
I just know my role in, like, knowing what I got to do with my big boys and my skill guys. I call them fat boys. I'm part of fat boys myself. It's kind of fun, really. It's really fun, really. Just being a part of both of them, both sides, just getting the ball, touching it, then knocking people head off, blocking and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
Alex has done a great job. I've been very happy with his growth and his technique, and you know, he's right on course. When you compare what he's been doing to where Odie was out, there's not much difference there. So you know, I think the sky's the limit for him. He can be as good as he wants to be.
Speaking of good, Hall was the AFL's Defensive Player of the Year in 2011 after tying a league rookie record with 15 interceptions, and he's capable of playing multiple positions, just like he did in college at Virginia.
At Virginia, I played quarterback, I played running back, I played cornerback, I played safety, I played punt returner, and holder.
What was your favorite position?
I have to say defensive back. That's the one I spent the most time at. I really learned a lot.
Nicholas Jean-Baptiste learned a lot playing his college ball at Baylor, alongside Robert Griffin III. And now the defensive tackle is hoping to make a name for himself with the Rattlers.
It's Jean-Baptiste. It's Haitian. My dad is from Haiti. He was born and raised in Haiti, then moved to Washington, D.C. when he was younger. But yeah, I mean, it's a Haitian name. It's pretty common for Haitians to have that last name apparently. It's like, my dad told me, it's basically like the Smith of Haiti. So, I mean, it's still pretty uncommon out here, but back there it's pretty much a normal thing.
Not Jones, but Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
The coaching staff has been impressed with Jean-Baptiste on his first start last week against Pittsburgh. In place for the injured Antaj Hawthorne, recorded one of the Rattlers' 2 sacks against the Power. Well, that'll do it for us here on the Rattler pregame show on Cox 7. Up next, it's kickoff between Arizona and San Antonio. Enjoy the game, everybody.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy 1 and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Star Multitainment Center, where kids are the stars.
The Arizona Rattlers are back on Cox 7, ready to defend their title. Don't miss exciting Rattlers action this season as Coach Kevin Guy and the Rattlers take on the AFL in their quest for a 3rd straight title. Stay with the Cox 7 sports team all season long as they bring you fast-paced, action-packed, crowd-pleasing Arizona Rattlers arena football. Championship football is back on Cox 7, Sunday, May 18th at 2:30 p.m. as the Rattlers host the Spokane Shock from the Snake Pit.
Mark, the Rattlers return to the Snake Pit tonight to face the San Antonio Talons. Two teams going in different directions. Arizona looks to avoid a letdown while the Talons seek the big upset. It's an AFL Saturday night matchup here on Cox 7 Arizona. Well, hi again, everybody, alongside the former Dallas Cowboy Dale Hellestrae, Kevin Ray. Delighted you could be with us tonight. The Rattlers looking to keep that mark unblemished and mark their best start in franchise history, which was set back in 2011 at 6-0. And they've enjoyed a lot of good home cooking here to begin the season.
They certainly have, and they knew they had to take advantage of it, and they've done a really nice job doing that. Can they finish off this long run of home games?
First division matchup of the season, as well as we take a look at what they accomplished last week, which is a big victory against a very talented Pittsburgh team. And as you talked earlier, Kevin Guy feels like Pittsburgh could very well be there in the end.
Well, at the end, if there's no injury for that Pittsburgh team, Coach Guy feels they might be the Arena Bowl representative from the East. The Rattlers now have the home field advantage tiebreaker over them.
Well, they have enjoyed that home field advantage to begin here in 2014, but that means the road is going to have to be their friend the rest of the way.
And they went on the road, beat San Jose. The coaching staff feels great about how they handled it, getting on a plane, going on the road, staying in a hotel, and playing in a hostile environment. Good teams relish playing on the road.
When Pittsburgh visited last week, it also marked the return of Virgil Gray, who was instrumental in helping the Rattlers secure those two Arena Bowl titles. He's gone, Jeremy Kellum steps in, and Kevin Guy couldn't be happier about the play of his young defensive back.
That is one reason the Rattlers have been so good for so long. Coach Guy is always looking to the future. Bring Jeremy Kellum in here for that opportunity in case you lose a Virgil Gray. He's able to step in. He's making plays all over the field. And the greatest attribute that he has is a very short memory, which you need to have as an arena football defensive back.
Well, and they'll need to have a short memory tonight because they're going to be faced again with another big challenge. Last week was LeSueur. DJ Stevens, who is the all-purpose leader here in the Arena Football League, figures to test him both in route running and also kick returns.
And they had trouble last week with the kickoff return. Virgil Gray returned 2 for touchdowns, only 1 counted, but DJ Stevens as good as there is in arena football.
Rattlers and the Talons ready to mix it up. Kickoff when we come back here on Cox 7.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy 1 and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Back at Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center. Time for Dale's Keys, and we're just about set for San Antonio and Arizona.
Well, you take a look, I think the number one thing that this Arizona Rattler team needs to take care of tonight is the mindset. They are a better football team than the Talons, and what they need to do is make sure they come out and play their best football no matter who the opponent is. They need to take care of the football. 0 turnovers last week. They need to do the same tonight. And then defensively, they want to get pressure up the middle on this San Antonio offense because they think they can shake up Shane Boyd, the quarterback.
Now the Rattlers return game will have a little different look tonight as Nick Miller, who we saw earlier in the season, will get an opportunity to show his skills there as a return man. And Miller, of course, playing on the NFL level, bouncing around the league a bit, but happy to be back here playing at Southern Utah. And kicking off, Garrett Lindholm, who was all-arena performer last season. He was so clutch in that run to their second straight title. And also 2013 Kicker of the Year. And he gets the night started here. Miller takes it, bobbles it, able to scoop it up. Finds a little seam out across the 10, breaks it off at the 15, bouncing off of the kicker Lindholm, and takes it all the way out to the 25.
Well, it's amazing what happens when the kick returner will fumble a ball. It throws the timing off for the kick coverage teams, and sometimes you find a seam, which Miller did right there, made something really, really good out of something that could have been bad.
Let's take a look at that Arizona offense. Michael Huey, the veteran up front. Maddox and Cornelius Dixon, they've done a terrific job of keeping quarterback Nick Davila upright. Maurice Purify, Tyson Poots, Kerry Reed, and Alex Singleton as looking up top. One play, and that's all it takes for Davila to Poots for the Rattlers score.
Well, that's one thing. If you're a defensive player for the Rattlers, you better be in good shape because this offense scores in a hurry. Nice kickoff return. Offense takes advantage of the field position. Great route by Poots. Great throw by Davila, and a touchdown for the Rattlers.
That brings on the new kicker, at least for tonight, Casey Barth, a rookie out of North Carolina. And punches it through as he's able to shake a few of those butterflies, which I'm sure swirling around his stomach. 39th touchdown pass of the season for Davila, and for Tyson Poots, he hauls in his 11th touchdown catch. And just like that, the Rattlers on board 7-0.
Going to see right here, take a look at Tyson Poots, and he's just going to run a post corner route. And great timing, confidence in each other. Little move to the inside, breaks to the outside. Look at the touch on this throw. Trajectory is perfect, and that's what makes Nick Davila the best cornerback in arena football.
He got on top of DJ Johnson pretty quick, and Johnson was never able to get his hips turned. And you know, we've seen it throughout this season, and you go back to last week, they had 11 offensive series, Dale, and on 7 of them they scored in 3 plays or less. And back to your point about the defense and the conditioning, Kevin Guy telling us earlier this week, he felt the conditioning, especially of their defense, was the reason they were able to hold off Pittsburgh late in that contest.
Well, what's interesting, Coach Guy coaching both offense and defense, sometimes if you're the offensive coordinator, you don't really care about the defensive coordinator. Hey, get out there and play defense, but you're coaching both now. You have to keep an eye on both sides of the ball.
A short kick there by Barth. Here's DJ Stevens. And a nice job by that kick coverage unit. Able to get down the field quickly and keep him bottled up. Well, let's take a look at the San Antonio offense. It is certainly not a high-powered offense by any stretch of the imagination. Tevaga, Jones, and Ruffins up front. DJ Stevens, Hiroba, Perry. Little shovel pass that results into a bit of a screen for Barry as he gets in behind his blockers and takes it ahead for 12 quick yards. Let's take a look at their starting quarterback, Shane Boyd, and he is a solid package at 6'1", 220, and that might even be a little on the light side when you look at his frame, Dale.
Not only a little light, but possibly a little taller than he actually is, and that's what makes it difficult to throw over that defensive line.
Inside handoff to the big fullback, Michael Benson, 6'1", 250 out of Florida A&M. Let's get a look at the Rattlers defense. Cliff Dukes, Jean-Baptiste, who got his first sack of the season last week, and Marcus Pittman. So no Antosh Hawthorne. He is activated tonight, but will not play. Tyree Glasper, Jeremy Kellum at the Jack linebacker with Kerry Reed playing on offense. And Chapman getting some snaps tonight. Vic Hall taking tonight off, trying to heal up some nicks and bruises as Boyd guns that pass out quickly to the far side and connects with Robert Quiroga, big 6'2" target out of Baylor.
Well, the one thing the Rattlers defensively wanted to do was bring pressure up the middle with Jean-Baptiste and Tyree Glasper rushing the middle of that offensive line and trying to block the vision of Shane Boyd, the quarterback.
San Antonio's actually done a pretty good job of protecting their quarterback, having surrendered only 8 sacks. Lots of time here. Boyd will take off and run. And so one thing in this game, Dale, and we've talked about it before, but these quarterbacks, I think, realize real quickly how fast those holes and seams close up, and you just don't have the room to run. And he's thinking he's going to run to the far side, and not only do you have a defender, but you've got the dasher board over there as well.
You see the play here. The protection was really pretty good. Just good coverage downfield. Nowhere to go with the football. Able to gain some yards and turn it into a positive play without a turnover.
Boyd looks to throw. Wants to go right. Now he's going to be flushed out of the pocket again. Reed comes up defensively and able to get his arms around his knees and haul him down after a short pickup. So it'll bring up 3rd and short. And they will mark it down at the 11.
Nice job again with protection. Just nowhere to go with the football. Hang on to the ball for a long time, but you see the Rattler defensive backs running stride for stride with the receivers. Good decision by Boyd. Pick up some positive yards. Live to see 3rd down.
Boyd last week, 13 of 24, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. And it'll be 3rd and a bit longer here is Shane Tavaga.
Small start, 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Boyd spent some time with the Houston Texans, but spent most all of last season on the roster of the Tampa Bay Storm. Picked up by the expansion club Portland Thunder during the offseason. Got his release. And Mitch Mustaine, of course, who was there in San Antonio, reassigned by the Talons. So Boyd has the starter's job for the foreseeable future. Quick drop here, turns, throws near side, and completes to Quiroga, but he's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down marker, so it sets up 4th and short.
Well, that's fine. I mean, again, you're just picking up positive plays, short yardage, and if you're the San Antonio team, sometimes it's not a bad idea to try and put together a long time-consuming drive to keep that explosive Rattler offense over in their bullpen.
Lee Johnson, 2nd-year coach, coming out, trying to communicate something to T.J. Stevens. Not sure he got the full call. Boyd looks to his left, finds a wide-open Stevens as the defender Kellum fell down, and he clearly communicated the right call as Stevens goes in for his 13th touchdown grab of the season.
The Talons run a crossing route, and what you refer to in football lingo as a gentle rub rather than an actual pick, and Kellum gets tripped up by his own guy. Nice route, nice route combination, and that's what can happen when you do things the correct way. Sometimes there's no defense for those type of routes.
Lindholm on for the extra point, and with that make, ties it up at 7-7. Here at Auction Field in U.S. Airways Center, 8:16 to play here in the 1st.
The Auction Indian community and Troon Golf invite you to tee up a pure golf experience at Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club. Ranked as one of the top 10 best courses you can play in Arizona by Golf Week, Auction Southern Dunes is known for its relaxed atmosphere, premier course conditions, and spectacular service. Just 30 minutes south of Sky Harbor Airport, Auction Southern Dunes features stunning golf and a casual yet elegant restaurant. Visit us at golfsoutherndunes.com for the best available rates. Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club, a pure golf experience.
Well, great tickets to the Sunday, May 18th game at 3 p.m. with Spokane, and the rest of the Rattlers home games are still available. Help protect the pit by reserving your tickets today. Go to azrattlers.com or call 602-514-TD and be a part of the action. Tied at 7 here, early going. Rattlers and the Talons, and this is a Talons organization this Rattlers have pretty much had their way with. You go back to last year's contest, and the Rattlers clubbed them 70-21, and they've beaten them by an average score of 71-40. Last and only loss to San Antonio came back in 2012. Here's the kick from Lindholm. And placing this one perfectly, as we saw Lindholm do on a number of occasions last season. And now taking his skill set to San Antonio, coming off of their first victory last week. So feeling a little bit more confident about what they're doing as we see the numbers for Nick Davila on the season. Just joining it with a one-play scoring drive to get the night started. So he sits at 39 touchdowns now to just 3 picks. Quick step and fire here off the hands of Purify as it falls incomplete.
Just a little mix up there, and they obviously not quite on the same page, but a catch that Purify is going to make 9 times out of 10.
Here's the San Antonio defense coming in with 8 sacks, 11 interceptions on the season. King and Ransom. Coach Kevin Guy had nothing but praise for the play of Ransom. And Whitehurst coming off of a fantastic debut last week as that pass also off the hands.
See the ball here gets knocked up into the stands,
and the DB, that receiver's not going to catch it, but the guy in that red hat, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's J.T. Smith, former Arizona Cardinal receiver. He's wearing his Cardinal red, and he caught that like he did so many back in the day. Pass to Poots. Sails off the mark.
Well, this is what's interesting. Talking to Coach Guy before the game, these are the trap games. We've talked about this. You're a better football team than San Antonio, but that doesn't mean anything. You have to come out and play better than San Antonio, and pregame meal was a little bit late today. You have the kicker situation, all these distractions. Can you overcome that and play well?
On 4th and long, Davila steps up, completes to Purifies. He spins away from the 2 defenders, and then finally goes down. Big early 4th down conversion there for Davila and the Rattlers offense.
Just so much confidence in your quarterback. 4th down, no hesitation. It all starts with the protection up front. And right there's Maurice Purify. Good protection, able to step up into the pocket and little deep in route, goes past the 1st down marker to make sure that he can come back for the football and still pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, Rod Windsor out tonight. Davila looking again deep for Maurice Purify. And that pass sails long on him.
Great touch. You have to have perfect trajectory. Good coverage downfield by San Antonio, who is playing very well to start this football game.
Davila looks to his left, and the pass batted down there at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Jeremy Richardson, defensive end, 6'1", 270 out of Angelo State, was able to get his hand up and bat it away. Sets up 3rd and long.
And the San Antonio team, you're going to talk about the strength of it. It's going to be that front 4. Pretty good pass rush. If you can't get there in time, you jump up, get hands in the passing lane, and Richardson does a really nice job being an athlete, knocking the football down.
Reed, the motion receiver. Davila looking his direction, and Reed kind of got turned around. And the pass from Davila sails long, one of his last 7, and will set up another 4th down attempt here. Rattlers, after converting that previous 4th down, 5 of 9 now on the season.
When you look at this offense right now, you can tell they're not in sync. This is not the Arizona Rattler team we've seen the first 5 games of the season, just a little bit off. Is the concentration level not where it needs to be?
Penalty marker thrown. Could be a free play here as Davila finds Maurice Purified. It will be more than enough for the 1st down as the former Nebraska Cornhusker takes it all the way down just inside the San Antonio 5 as he is slow to get up.
Number 4, defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
Really nice job by Nick there, knowing he has a free play, buying a little extra time, eluding the pass rush of Jeremy Richardson, who had a free run at him. Sometimes the officials will blow the whistle there because unabated to the quarterback, able to elude that and then drop the ball in there for Purify to pick up the 1st down.
Purify is going to go out, so that means Nick Miller will come in now. He'll be the motion receiver on that right side. Pitch to Singleton. Singleton bouncing off a couple of defenders before he bounces off of the dasher boards and stopped just short of the goal line. They'll mark him down just inside the 2-yard line, it looks.
Well, that's one thing that Coach Guy had said he wanted to improve on his behalf too, calling some more of these running plays, establishing a running game, because he really likes Alex Singleton running the football. 25 rushes for 56 yards and 6 touchdowns coming into this game.
10th play of the drive here. Singleton gets it again. And credit San Antonio doing a nice job. And once again, it was Jeremy Richardson who was able to get underneath that offensive front there. Upended Jeff Maddox and blew the play up.
We talked about that front 4, just very athletic, pretty physical. Nice job by Micah King lowering that shoulder and making sure that Singleton could not break containment and get outside. Send the running back into where all your buddies are coming from.
And Miller remains in on 3rd down and goal to go. Miller with the grab. The Arizona score, and his first Arena League touchdown catch.
Well, and you look at that drive by the Rattlers, not real sharp, but the end result is a touchdown. Quick out route. This time, instead of having some touch on the football, Davila steps into the throw, and the last laser throws a laser beam.
Bart with the PAT, it is up and good. LA scoring drive and longer than usual in Rattler standards. But the end result still the same. Rattlers on top, 14-7.
I like to go out on town, hit the floor, and double down. Casino, Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two.
Catch a game with my crew. Casino, Arizona, win your way. Here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out today.
Hey Rattler fans, I'm Chris Coraggio. Did you know that the busiest orthopedic hospital in the Valley is now the official hospital of your Arizona Rattlers? I'm talking about Oasis Hospital, which transforms the healthcare experience. They treat their patients just like family. And now they're part of the Rattlers family. Oasis is thrilled to partner up with the most exciting team in all of the Arena League. To learn more about Oasis Hospital, visit their website, oasishospital.com. And go Rattlers!
1:15 remaining here in this opening quarter at Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center. Kevin Ray, Dale Hellestray, Chris Harris, and Lindsey Smith on hand. And it's a 14-7 advantage for Arizona. There you see Nick Miller, local product, played his high school football at Red Mountain and just made his first AFL touchdown grab as Bart gets his foot into this one. Stevens with the catch, but went off of the Casino Arizona facade right there, and so San Antonio will get it out at the 5.
Well, and you see the new kicker there, Barth, doing a nice job early in this football game, and that's the thing. You look at this Rattler football team, and Coach Guy is not afraid to make changes. And if you're Rantanamore, it's one of those things where you got to go, you know what? I got to get my act together because I am replaceable, as are most football players.
Here's the pass from Boyd to Stevens at turn after the catch and limited to a short pickup after the grab. Marquise Brown there in the coverage.
Well, that's what the San Antonio team will do. A lot of three-step drop. Ball will come out quickly. That kind of negates a good pass rush, and your defensive backs have to creep up and play tighter and tighter coverage and kind of susceptible to some double moves. And if you pick the right time, you can go deep.
Barry, the motion receiver now. Toss to the fullback and gets his shoulders squared up and barrels ahead for the first down carry.
Benson listed at 6'1", 250. I got some swamp land in Casa Grande if he's 250 pounds to sell you.
I think that scale may be off just a bit. We've completed one here in the desert. And the two-time defending champs leading San Antonio 14-7.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge Sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy one and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Fourteen 14-7 as we enter the second quarter here. Let's check in with Lindsey Smith.
Thanks, guys. Well, all season long, we'll be on social media talking Rattlers football. And if you'd like to join the conversation, be sure to like us on Facebook at Cox 7 Arizona Sports or follow us on Twitter at Cox 7 Arizona. We'll keep you in the know with live game updates, behind-the-scenes pictures and information, and, of course, game highlights and replays. Guys?
Well, and more importantly, what Chris Harris has for lunch.
Did he tweet again?
I don't know.
I mean, is he a one tweet a week kind of guy? Is it one tweet a month?
He may be trying to ease into it a bit.
Game days for right now, boys. I don't want to stretch myself too far.
What did you have for lunch, Chris?
What was for lunch today? Actually, did a little pizza. Little carbo load before the game.
I like it. That's why you're yawning in our pre-game meetings.
A little 5-hour energy takes care of that.
Boyd with a quick toss to Stevens here on the near side. Snakes his way ahead across the 20 out near the 23-yard line.
Well, what's interesting watching this game plan from the Talons, this is how teams tried to attack the Rattlers early last year. Ball control offense. And limit the possessions. The Rattlers want to have as many possessions as they possibly can. They don't care how many times you score. Obviously, they want to get a stop. But other teams that slowed it down a little bit, put together time-consuming drives, seem to have a little more success against the Rattlers.
Well, and Lee Johnson, again in his second year, knows all too well what this Rattlers offense is capable of. Pass across the middle intended for Stevens, but Arkeith Brown there. Terrific defense and knocks it away, as we noted earlier. The average score, 71-40 in the 7 meetings, favoring the Rattlers.
Really nice coverage here by Arkeith Brown. He's being physical. Up on the line of scrimmage, falls off his receiver, switch coverage, able to stick his hand in there and knock the ball loose from DJ Stevens.
Obviously trying to give the young quarterback Boyd some different looks. 3rd down. Pressure comes, steps up, and rifles it quickly over to Quiroga. Just beyond the yard marker, 1st down, San Antonio.
Well, and that's the thing, the 3-step drop, it can really frustrate the pass rushers for the Rattlers because you just can't get there. So again, that's where you need to be smart as a defensive lineman. Hey, you make 2 steps on your pass rush, get your hands up. Because when you're taking a 3-step drop, that ball's coming out of a low trajectory. You can knock a lot of those footballs down.
And you go from a 6'8" quarterback last week at Tommy Maddox to a 6'1".
Maybe.
Big barrel-chested quarterback as Brown kept it alive and finally was able to get his hands underneath it to get the interception.
Well, those are the things that will absolutely kill you against the Rattlers. DJ Stevens coming open across the middle, ball thrown behind him a little bit, gets a hand on it, but look at the ball hawking skills of Arkeith Brown. Tremendous job staying with the football. But that's what I'm talking about. As a quarterback, you have to be on the money.
Rattlers football when we come back after the defense forces the turnover.
For document solutions for your business, trust the leader, All Copy Products. Our managed print services solution provides a worry-free printing environment, making your business more efficient and saving you money. Learn more now at allcopyproducts.com.
I like to go out on the town, hit the floor, and double down. Casino, Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two, catch a game
With my crew, Casino, Arizona, win your way. Here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out today.
For document solutions for your business, trust the leader, All Copy Products. Our managed print services solution provides a worry-free printing environment, making your business more efficient and saving you money. Learn more now at allcopyproducts.com.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the 2-time defending 4-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a 3rd straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
Rattlers football, Arkeith Brown not giving that one up. His 2nd interception of the season, 5th for the team. And it gives this Rattlers offense the football back at the 15-yard line, and Arizona on top of San Antonio 14-7. Nick Miller remains in as he takes that little swing pass quickly from Davila. Tries to get it outside. Michael Huey coming across and lays a pretty good lick on the defender out there, Kyle Whitehurst, who looks like he got his bell rung a bit. Let's check it downstairs with Chris Harris.
Thanks so much, guys. Down here with Arkeith Brown. Arkeith, take us through that interception. Looked like a magician out there hanging on to the ball.
Well, I just seen the guy break, and I was able to break on him, and the ball was kind of tipped. And I just went for the ball, and I was able to get my hands on it.
Any stick him on those hands?
Oh, no, I'm going to put some more on here, though, so I can get some more interceptions.
Defensively, when you look at San Antonio's offense, what concerns you?
Nothing really. We just need to come close as a team and start making plays. You know, we just need to settle down, you know, and just get back to Rattler football.
Appreciate the time, Arcade.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back upstairs, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Purifying with that catch and an Arizona first down.
Well, the one thing this Rattlers offense has been so good at is taking advantage of good field position and turnovers created by their defense.
Brown with 8 picks last season. Davila looks near side to Purify. Nice inside move on the oncoming defender, DJ Johnson. Got him turned around, and quick pickup of about 9 there from Davila to Purify.
And the one thing Coach Guy is going to do this week, simplify things offensively, because the San Antonio defense, a bunch of personnel changes, not sure who you're going to play against. So this week was more of a focus on what the Rattlers do rather than the team they're playing against, because this Talon team will change up coverages, do things differently each and every week.
Davila looks to the middle, pass sails a little high over the hands of Tyson Pooch. Well, that was the one thing in our conversation with Coach Guy this week. We talked about the gauntlet of a schedule they began the season with, and he said, you know, we needed rest both mentally and physically, so they got a couple of days off this week. But having said that, and the message to the team was, whether you get days off in the future following situations like that will all be determined on how you meet the challenge this week, that being San Antonio. 3rd and short. Davila looks and throws to the left. Touchdown, Arizona. Nick Miller. Successive series. And back-to-back scores.
The touchdown machine, Nick Miller, with an assist from Maurice Purify. Purify doing a nice job, just run a little rub there, bringing the coverage in with him. Miller sneaks to the outside. Nobody goes with him, and easy throw. An easy catch for the touchdown. But you're right, going back to what Coach Guy said, yeah, again, you want to give your team some rest. You know it's a long season, but that reward, he said, I will reward you if you take care of business, and that's going out and winning this game tonight.
Barth, the new kicker for tonight, perfect on PATs. Rattlers extend their lead 21-7. Arizona leading San Antonio. Let's go downstairs with Chris Harris.
Thank you so much, guys. Here with Nick Miller, the pride of Red Mountain High School in Mesa. Nick, your first 2 touchdown catches in the Arena Football League. Your thoughts?
Feels good, man. Just glad to get my feet wet out here with a great team. I'm not really doing much. Nick's just throwing me open, so I'm just happy to be out here playing in front of the home crowd.
I know you spent some years in the NFL, trying to make the adjustment here to the indoor game. Touch on the differences for you.
It's just a lot smaller field. Everything happens quicker. The nets are obviously a big difference, but I'm adapting well. It's just like anything else. I'm learning the game. I feel like I'm doing well.
Growing up in Arizona and knowing what the Rattlers are all about, what's it like to put the uniform on here?
You know, I grew up watching them. Grew up, watching the guy come out on the Harley. It really is an honor. I'm excited to be here in front of all my family and friends.
Appreciate the time, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, let's get it back upstairs, guys.
There's P.J. Berry on the return. So, not sure if Stevens is dinged up or just trying to give him a breather, but very able to bring it out to about the 13-yard line for San Antonio.
Better kickoff coverage so far this game, and something that they had a big-time emphasis on this week after Virgil Gray scored one touchdown on a return last week, had another touchdown return called back because of a penalty. And those are things, if you're a championship ball club, special teams have got to be a priority.
Boyd looking to his left, and that play had trouble all over it. Very fortunate that that one wasn't picked off. Well, got knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and Kevin Guy saying that might have been a lateral.
Well, and Coach standing on the sideline there probably had the best view of anybody, and of course you're going to try and get that call much too close for comfort. If you're the Talons, the ball gets bobbled right here, and he throws it, and it does look like it goes almost. Here's a better look at it, and does the ball go backwards? And tell you what, very easily could have been called lateral.
Pass comes near side and is complete to Quiroga.
Can you see that ball come out of Shane Boyd's hands very, very quickly? And coming into this game, 52 of 86 for 724 yards, 12 TDs, 6 interceptions, and their game plan is ball's going to come out quick. Do not allow that Rattler pass rush to affect us.
Yeah, it looked like Jean-Baptiste was the one who got his hand on that earlier pass attempt by Boyd. As they give it to the big fullback, Michael Benson here.
Isaac Remington in on the tackle there. 6'6", almost 300 pounds, long arms, very physical, getting a chance to get some playing time with Hawthorne on the injured list, and they want to see how he does with extended playing time.
Second down here for San Antonio. Boyd looks across the middle, right on the money to Stevens. Marquise Boyd able to finally ride him out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 5 down to the Arizona 4.
Really difficult there for Marquise Floyd, a two-way go for DJ Stevens. Just nice execution by the Talons. Good throw by Shane Boyd. No pressure up the middle, which is where against a shorter quarterback, you've got to get some pressure in his face.
Here's the pitch to the big fullback as he punches it in untouched. Benson with his 6th rushing touchdown of the season and pulls the visiting Talons a little closer here with 6:04 and counting to go in this first half.
Really nice vision by Benson. Going to be a little quick sweep to the outside. Sees there's a hole right off the guard, turns it upfield right here. Difficult to be going down the line of scrimmage if you're a Rattler defender and stop and make a tackle on a 260, 270 pound fullback with forward momentum.
Lindholm on with the PAT. 21-14, 5:39 to play here in the second. Rattlers leading San Antonio.
The Auction Indian community and Troon Golf invite you to tee up a pure golf experience at Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club. Ranked as one of the top 10 best courses you can play in Arizona by Golf Week, Auction Southern Dunes is known for its relaxed atmosphere, premier course conditions, and spectacular service. Just 30 minutes south of Sky Harbor Airport, Auction Southern Dunes features stunning golf and a casual yet elegant restaurant. Visit us at golfsoutherndunes.com for the best available rates. Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club, a pure golf experience.
Hey Rattler fans, I'm Chris Coraggio. Did you know that the busiest orthopedic hospital in the Valley is now the official hospital of your Arizona Rattlers? I'm talking about Oasis Hospital, which transforms the healthcare experience. They treat their patients just like family. And now they're part of the Rattlers family. Oasis is thrilled to partner up with the most exciting team in all of the Arena League. To learn more about Oasis Hospital, visit their website, oasishospital.com. And go Rattlers!
21-14, Arizona leading San Antonio. Let's check in with Lindsey Smith.
Guys, we've got a sizzling deal on our hands. The team is offering $5 tickets for any college student. Now you can pick up these tickets at the box office, and you have to have a valid college ID. I'll tell you what, it doesn't get any better than this. So if you're a college student, be sure to take a break from studying and come on down to the Snake Pit and have a great time. And if you know a college student, make sure you share this deal with them. Guys?
Take a break from studying. Obviously, Lindsey must have went to ASU. I mean, can't you do your study and then come to the game, for crying out loud? Academics first. Ain't that right, Pops?
Lindholm showing his leg strength there again. No chance for Miller to return that one.
Well, I think if you're the Rattlers, you have to be prepared for some onside kicks from this Talon team. Lindholm, we saw him last year. Coach Connie Kawai coaches the kickoff return team, and he said Lindholm hits the ball on the ground and it bounces so high it leaves game film, which means your guys have ample opportunity to get down there and get a chance to get their hands on the ball.
But it is picked up by satellite. As the Rattlers will be hit with the infraction here.
268, offense, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Referee Scott Campbell tonight.
Saw the picture of Connie Kawai there. As good a offensive line coach as there is in arena football. New guys coming in here each and every year, and the football team is led by that offensive line, and they're among the best each and every year in this league.
On first down, Davila coming near side, but Reed not expecting it. And the pass falls incomplete. You know, a great article in today's Arizona Republic by Richard Obert talking about Kevin Guy, but you touch on Connie Kawai and his years now with Kevin Guy, and it's really one of the, I think, great misunderstandings that so many fans have, the nuances and how critical technique is in this game, as a pickoff there by San Antonio is coming up with the interception is Kyle Whitehurst, who had 2 last week in the Talons victory. And Whitehurst quickly becoming a fan favorite in San Antonio with his defense. So 3 interceptions in the last 2 weekends for Whitehurst.
All starts with the pressure right here, and this is going to be King against Singleton. Watch the pressure right in Nick's face, can't extend, and then Whitehurst comes up with another interception. That all stemmed from that pressure up the middle. The one thing, if you're the Arizona Rattlers, that you're going to keep an eye on is that midline. Jeff Maddox and Alex Singleton protecting Davila up the middle.
Now, Whitehurst was the defensive player of the week as Boyd put it right on the money for Kerogan. He saw a wide open end zone, turned, and forgot the most important item, the football.
Well, Whitehurst's first game as a Talon last week. And he's a defensive player of the week, 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, and gives his team great field position to try and tie this football game up.
Had a short stay with the Arizona Rattlers. We'll get back to the conversation regarding technique and why it is so important here in the indoor game, as Boyd is trying to get rid of this one. Had pressure being brought on by Marcus Pittman.
Well, it's one thing this coaching staff has challenged, that they call it the midline, the center and the fullback. That's Jeff Maddox, that's Alex Singleton for protection, because you cannot allow pressure up the middle, something they both got better at last week. And it's basically a technique issue with them. Alex Singleton, a young guy, getting better every week, but right there got physically overpowered.
On third down, Boyd in the pocket, flushed out, and will run, and Running nowhere fast as he gets tracked down quickly by Marcus Pittman.
Kind of interesting. San Antonio bringing the field goal unit on, trying to come away with points. Just nowhere to go with the football. Remember, you get down in the red zone, the end zone is only 8 yards deep in arena football. It really condenses your opportunities, and the windows become very, very tight on where you can throw the football.
So Lindholm on for what will be a 23-yard attempt. He's as good a kicker as there is in the AFL. Snap down, kick up. And it is good. His 4th field goal knocks it through, and the Talons come away with 3 points and able to pull a little bit closer with 1:52 remaining here in the first half. Arizona still on top, 21-17.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy 1 and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the 2-time defending 4-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a 3rd straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
(21-17), Arizona leading San Antonio. Let's check in with Chris Harris.
Guys, we just saw Garrett Lindholm with the 23-yard field goal for the Talons. Obviously a familiar face to Rattler fans. He was here in Arizona last year where he was the AFL Kicker of the Year, first team All-Arena, and led all kickers in just about every category. And he's very, very comfortable in this building, as we just saw on that last kick. Guys?
Yeah, terrific kicker and had some clutch performances last season with Arizona.
Watch for an onside kick here. Perfect opportunity for the Talons.
Miller awaits and collects it cleanly. Gets a break, cuts it off. One man to beat, Lindholm. Well, Lindholm, as we saw him do a few times last year, he is not afraid to mix it up. And he makes a touchdown-saving tackle there on Miller, who has certainly electrified the crowd so far with his play tonight.
Really nice job taking the ball off the net. Pretty good blocking up front. Make 1 or 2 guys miss. And the one thing he'll hear about in the meeting room is, as a kickoff returner, the one guy you don't want to be tackled by is the kicker. But give Lindholm a lot of credit. Nice open field. Wrap him up. Get him down to the field. But great first half for Nick Miller.
Lindholm putting some of his high school defensive back days to good use there. Fabulous stands tall in a pocket, finds Poots wide open across the middle. And Poots drags a defender with him for a couple of extra yards. Pickup of about 12 on that, call it 13. And first down goal to go here for Arizona. We are at the 1 minute mark in this first half.
Well, remember in arena football, the 1 minute mark, a little bit like the 2 minute warning in football. The fact that rules change, the clock stops when you hit the dasher board or an incomplete pass, and strategies change. You wouldn't be surprised to see Kevin Guy and the Rattlers try to run the football a couple times here to make San Antonio use up their timeouts before they score and have to kick the ball back.
Well, the Sidewinders Dance Clinic will be on Thursday, May 15th this season, with the performance at halftime of the Spokane game on May 18th. That's also Kids Night and Striker's birthday. The clinic is available for all kids ages 5 to 18. Registration is prior to the clinic and will include a tank top. For more information, contact Angie at sidewinders@azrattlers.com.
The age cutoff's 18, huh?
Well, but after seeing your performance in the Media Day Challenge, I think they're going to have you out there as an instructor, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, did you see how high I got my legs on that scissor kick?
It was impressive. Left me speechless.
And I'm not taking that as a compliment. Big John, big fan of the Rattlers, longtime season ticket holder, actually came to me and said, I was kind of under the weather this week, but I'm here fighting it out for the team. And I said, it's not too hard, Big John, to sit there and cheer, and his lovely wife, Michelle, next to him is...
Well, is he cheering right there?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know what that is.
Or is he resting?
He's under the weather.
He is under the weather. So maybe that's an under the weather Big John pose. First down goal to go here for Arizona. Davila, deep drop, looks to the corner. Touchdown, Rattlers. Maurice purified. Leaps for the catch and the score.
Well, so much for my strategy there, but easy throw and easy catch. And Coach Guy said, down in the red zone here is where your quarterbacks earn their money. You see the pressure up the middle, and you know, just a nice pass rush by Paul Griffin, working on Keith Williams. And you know, as an offensive lineman, you want to be able to make sure everything goes outside. You do not want to give up inside pressure, but Davila does a nice job focusing in.
Point after is good. And with 55.1 remaining in this first half, Arizona able to get a little more breathing room. Up 28-17.
I think we need to point out Jason Murrieta, the holder on these extra points and field goals, has done a tremendous job getting the football down after some of the snaps. And Murrieta, and give Barth a lot of credit. First game, focusing in, not letting the distractions get to him.
Chris Harris, what have you got?
Hey guys, Casey Barth, the new kicker here for the Rattlers. He just got in town yesterday, and today is the first time he's ever kicked with goalposts in the Arena Football League, the narrow width on these things. He was a little nervous coming out here tonight, but he's had a lot of success prior to this at the University of North Carolina, and kicking runs in the family. His older brother, Connor, kicks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guys?
Yeah, a little easier to kick in that NFL upright configuration. Just 10 feet wide here in the indoor game as they attempt that onside kick. And nice job there by San Antonio to get it covered up. Brett Reese, wideout out of Ouachita Baptist, was able to scoot across here. The rookie smothers it.
Well, again, like you said, he came in for a tryout. Now, the previous onside kicks by the Rattlers have not gone 10 yards. It has to go 10 yards. I have a feeling Coach Kevin Guy said, if it doesn't go 10 yards, don't come over here. So he might have kicked it a little bit hard, but that at least gives your team a chance to recover it.
Here's a little inside give to the big fullback as Henson just barrels through that Arizona defense. And boy, nice play call there from second-year coach Lee Johnson.
Well, again, this is one of those situational type of plays right here and drives. As you look, there's 48.3 seconds left. The Rattlers have 2 timeouts left, and they will allow you to score here if you want to run in the end zone. But if you're San Antonio, you want to gain a yard, make the Rattlers use a timeout, gain another yard, make the Rattlers use their last timeout before you score. But so many teams aren't looking at it that way, and the options you have within the last minute of a half or a game.
You see Lee Johnson. Boyd just trying to lean ahead.
Boyd on the keeper. Timeout. Arizona. Second and a half. 3 seconds left.
And you can tell a veteran AFL coach totally comfortable is what Kevin Guy would do, make you just churn up your timeouts. Me, I'm always a little bit apprehensive because I say you want to score, you need to score. But boy, if you get rid of all those timeouts, it puts a lot of pressure on the opposing team's offense when they get the football back.
You can see the word there from Coach Kevin Guy telling his defensive unit, we've got to strip the football, as they expect the same type play here. Stevens, the motion man. Boyd with it. Just kind of works his way to the right, about a half yard.
Well, now does Coach Johnson have the guts on 3rd down to gain another half a yard and run this clock all the way down so that the Rattlers don't have a chance to get the football back, and then you try and score on 4th down.
Yeah, because now you're faced with 3rd and goal to go.
All the Rattlers timeouts are gone, so if they gain a positive half a yard, they can run the clock down to about 13 seconds before they run their next play.
Boyd again taking, you see the big fullback Benson get right in behind him and just shove him forward. As the clock continues to move.
And so now with the play clock not starting, they can run it all the way down to the 1 second mark here on 4th down. And as long as they score, fantastic job by the Talons.
Well, got their first victory last week as they routed the Voodoo. And the week prior had actually been in that game as well. So they have seen play improve over the last couple of weeks. And certainly have to have a big boost of confidence the way that they have played here in this first half. And that could be an even bigger boost if they are able to get a score here with 3.7 remaining as they burn that timeout.
Well, it definitely helps when you have a load in the backfield like Benson. We've talked about his size as a fullback, 6'1", listed at 250. Looks like he's about 275, and great vision and can lower those shoulders running north and south, and all they need is 1 yard. He's scored 5 touchdowns coming into this football game.
And remember, San Antonio will get the football to begin the 3rd quarter. A big play here. Boyd with it, stretching across and in for the touchdown. And that'll be the final play of the half. Coach Kevin Guy not completely buying that Boyd was able to break the plane of the goal line.
Kind of surprised at this play call. Thought you'd give it to your big fullback. Rattlers are right there, and all the ball has to do is break the plane. And Talon's going to get the snap off before the Rattlers can challenge it.
The extra point by Lindahl is good. At halftime, our score, your winner,
Quarterback sneak.
24.
Yeah, you see from there, and unless that little reach out, it still would have been very, very close. But you give the Talons credit, running the clock down, not giving this explosive Rattler offense a chance to get the ball back and making it close enough to where you don't want to use up a challenge.
Well, he is using his challenge on Scott Campbell, referee, as he walks up the field, because he has been giving Campbell an earful for about 30 yards as he finally makes his way into the tunnel. We've reached halftime here at Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center. And at the half, the Rattlers leading the Talons 28-24. Stay with us. Our halftime coverage
Are you a weekend warrior? Do you know where to turn to if you get hurt? We do. At Foothill Sports Medicine Physical Therapy Centers, we provide an individualized hands-on treatment plan based on your specific injury. We aim to restore function and to prevent re-injury. Call or stop by any of our 12 convenient valley-wide locations to receive a free assessment.
The Arizona Rattlers are back on Cox 7, ready to defend their title. Don't miss exciting Rattlers action this season as Coach Kevin Guy and the Rattlers take on the AFL in their quest for a third straight title. Stay with the Cox 7 sports team all season long as they bring you fast-paced, action-packed, crowd-pleasing Arizona Rattlers arena football. Championship football is back on Cox 7, Sunday, May 18th at 2:30 p.m. as the Rattlers host the Spokane Shock from the Snake Pit. STEM Journal's host Jeff Notkin travels Arizona in search of scientific discoveries.
On the next entry of the STEM Journals, armies of ants, swarms of bees, and tree-eating termites when I connect with social insects.
Join Jeff on his STEM adventures Sunday at 7 only on Cox 7. STEM Journals is brought to you in part by CopperPoint, a mutual insurance company. You can download the Cox 7 app to get STEM Journals videos at your fingertips.
Arizona Rattlers football on Cox 7 is brought to you in part by Sanderson Ford, Arizona's largest Ford dealership. It's halftime here in Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center, and Arizona leads San Antonio by a score of 28-24. They're the unsung heroes of the team, the men that man the offensive and defensive lines. The success or failure of every single play starts up front with these Warriors and their brand of Smash Mouth football.
Life in the trenches. I once read a saying that in order to be a big man, you have to understand that life gets real between the A and B gaps.
1, 2, 3,
dominate!
Gritty, rough, it takes a tough man to take on that job.
1, 2, 3, all in!
That's why you play the game, to be physical, and it doesn't get more physical than inside in the trenches. Always need to keep your motor going and pretty much just defeat the guy that's in front of you.
It's a physical game, I'm a skill guy, but I love watching the linemen.
The success of the skill players and the team relies heavily on the big fellas up front, winning the line of scrimmage.
That's where it all starts. The whole game starts the line of scrimmage. Defensive players, we have a mindset here on the Rattlers playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Coach always says, change that line of scrimmage.
It's definitely physically demanding each and every play, but I think you got to create a mindset to where, you're tough every play.
From a defensive line standpoint, they are the seek and destroyers. They are the attackers. They're the hunters. The other side of the ball, you've got to have a sense of protection, overseers, security. There's two different mindsets, I think, that go on and collide to create the perfect storm.
It's like a boxing match every time. You have to have good technique, use your hands, and if you can, throw a few insults in there too.
We want a pass rush that's going to be relentless, and then I like an offensive line that's nasty, that we get downfield on runs and screens and try to take some heads off. So.
After coaching both lines the past few years, this season Connie Kawhi is strictly on the offensive side, while former Tampa Bay head coach and new Rattlers assistant Dave Ewert takes over the defensive front.
Coach brought a whole new perspective on our pass rush. The drills that we've been doing, his constant coaching, on and off the field has really helped us to try to take it to the next level.
It's a huge difference. He's a fantastic coach, and having one-on-one attention with him really helps. You can obviously see now with our offensive line, we're making great strides, and with his sole attention, it's really helped.
Linemen are a selfless, tight-knit group by nature, doing the dirty work without getting much recognition.
Without us, you can't have the guys going out on routes, quarterbacks making the great throws. We're essentially that barrier that holds up so we can make the plays happen.
Being a lineman, be it offensive or defensive, you know, you're not really out there for the glory. My glory comes at the end of the season when I get to hold a trophy on top of my head and take pictures with it.
Hawthorne and the Rattlers have done just that, winning the last 2 Arena Bowls and are on pace to do it again this year. And on the field right now, we got the Arizona Youth Sports Leagues, and we got the Arizona Knights in the green and yellow, and with the ball on offense, the Arizona Warriors in the black and white. Might have a couple future Rattlers out there. We'll see. All right, when we come back, Kevin and Dale will have highlights and stats from the first half.
Hi everybody, I'm Chris Coraggio for the Oasis Brief. The busiest orthopedic hospital in the Valley has now hit pay dirt with their new partnership with the Arizona Rattlers. Oasis is proud to announce that they are now the official hospital of the Arizona Rattlers. And this is a perfect match because the Rattlers are a championship, homegrown organization, and Oasis Hospital is emerging as just that as well. As they continue to transform the healthcare experience, they treat their patients just like family when it comes to orthopedic and spine procedures.
The Rattlers organization as well as Oasis kind of have a lot in common. And one is that we're little known entities, but we're both jewels of the community. The Rattlers being a championship organization, Oasis Hospital being the busiest orthopedic hospital in the Valley. It's a very exciting thing for us. It allows us to reach out to the community more, allows us to have our presence in the community, and also to provide a very valuable service to the Rattlers organization.
We went over there, saw the facilities, talked to the people there, and their philosophy is the same as ours, doing the best that they can do with everything that they have and every tool that they have. And, you know, that's our philosophy. We want to give our players the best, and we want to provide them with the best services possible, and Oasis was a perfect fit for that.
Oasis Hospital would like to wish the Arizona Rattlers good luck here in the 2013 season. I'm Chris Coraggio. We'll see you next time here on the Oasis Brief.
Halftime here at Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center, and the Arizona Rattlers leading the visiting San Antonio Talons 28-24. With the former Dallas Cowboy Dale Hellestray, Kevin Ray, our entire Cox 7 crew, and San Antonio's got to feel very good about where they sit through this first half.
Did a really nice job in the first half, and you could see why the concern of the Rattlers coaches coming into this game kind of came to fruition in the first half. Not nearly as sharp as they have been. It's almost like they expected this.
Yeah, they led 21-7, but some good plays on both sides of the football has drawn San Antonio closer. Let's take a look at our Casino Arizona at Talking Stick Resort halftime highlights for you. Shane Boyd, relatively new quarterback.
Really nice job by the offense in this first half, taking advantage of long time-consuming drives. You see Benson with the touchdown. Whitehurst here with the interception because of the pressure up the middle. San Antonio able to take advantage of that. Rattlers don't turn the ball over very much. You see Poots, first play of the game, makes it look really, really simple, like it's going to be a cakewalk, and Miller, the first of his 2 touchdown catches in the first half. Our Keith Brown with the interception, what we like to see and what we're getting used to here with the Rattlers, taking advantage of the turnovers offensively, scoring a touchdown, Purified. Nice catch. Love the way these receivers catch the ball with their hands. And then the controversial touchdown here. Did Boyd get the ball over the goal line? We'll just have to trust the officials that he actually did.
And there is the numbers from that first half. You see the rushing yards. Benson doing a nice job for San Antonio, and each team with 1 turnover apiece.
We see the time of possession. I know it's usually not a big deal in arena football, but you control the ball for over half of the half. and you give yourself a chance.
San Antonio will have the football as well when we bring you back here for third quarter play at Auction Field. Arizona on top, 28-24.
For document solutions for your business, trust the leader, All Copy Products. Our managed print services solution provides a worry-free printing environment, making your business more efficient and saving you money. Learn more now at allcopyproducts.com.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy one and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I like to go out on the town, hit the floor, and double down. Casino, Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two, catch a game
With my crew, Casino, Arizona, win your way. Here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out today.
For document solutions for your business, trust the leader, All Copy Products. Our managed print services solution provides a worry-free printing environment, making your business more efficient and saving you money. Learn more now at allcopyproducts.com.
How do the Arizona Rattlers kick off their season? By improving their training skills at Fast Foothills Acceleration and Sports Training, where you can perfect your speed, agility, strength. By honing in on these key skills, you will have the winning edge and ability to compete at the highest of levels. Foothills Sports Medicine. Train like the pros, perform like the pros.
Welcome back to Auction Field inside U.S. Airways Center in Arizona. Leads San Antonio by a score of 28-24. Chris Harris here along with Rattlers head coach Kevin Guy and KG. Your thoughts there in the first half. What was the message to the team?
Well, we just got to get mentally dialed in. You know, we really messed up the situation right here at the end with the clock management. You know, we ran the kickoff return out too far. I had no plans on giving the ball back, but since we ran it out so far, then our first pass play went down inside of 10. I had no choice but to score. And then, you know, we weren't in a run front on the first play they had when they ran the ball down here and got down here and, you know, maybe burned a timeout, so they was able to run the clock out. So we got to do a better job there.
Thanks for the time, Coach. I appreciate it. Let's now check in on the social sing, and that means our social media correspondent, Lindsay Smith. Lindsay, what's happening?
Well, Chris, we just want to remind all of the fans that our Ask Dale segment is coming up in the third quarter, so be sure to get your questions in soon. Any AFL-related question you may have, you can Facebook them to us at Cox 7 Arizona Sports or tweet them to us at Cox 7 Arizona. And don't forget, you'll win an Arizona Rattlers t-shirt signed by Tyson Boots today.
When we come back, we will have the kickoff to the second half. The Rattlers lead the Talons by a score of 28-24. We'll be right back.
The Arizona Rattlers are back on Cox 7, ready to defend their title. Don't miss exciting Rattlers action this season as Coach Kevin Guy and the Rattlers take on the AFL in their quest for a third straight title. Stay with the Cox 7 sports team all season long as they bring you fast-paced, action-packed, crowd-pleasing Arizona Rattlers arena football. Championship football is back on Cox 7, Sunday, May 18th at 2:30 p.m. as the Rattlers host the Spokane Shock from the Snake Pit.
Su Vida is a show about your life.
With a Latino twist.
This week is all about healthy living. We'll learn how to make nutritious foods delicious.
And how to buy inexpensively.
And that Zumba can make exercise fun.
And DJ AO3 from the UFC is going to be in the house.
Join Vanessa and JR for Su Vida, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Su Vida is brought to you by Chicanos por la Causa, committed to building stronger, healthier communities.
Four-point game at the half here. Arizona on top of San Antonio, 28-24. Rattlers set to kick off. DJ Stevens is back. Barry had one return on the night. And here's the new kicker, Casey Barth. A short kick. Not much of a bounce, though, off of the lower crossbar. And well defended that time by the kick coverage unit as they whip Stevens out of bounds and into that front row seat. And Stevens has the football ripped out of his hands by one of the fans down there.
You're going to see the action come up close and personal. And one of the byproducts of being at a game, not only can you get a football player in your lap, but you can walk away with the football itself.
Even for the fans, a full contact sport. Boyd, quick drop, fires a pass to Quiroga, and leaps high to make the catch. And big pickup there on first down for San Antonio.
Well, the one thing when you're playing a team that you are clearly better than, remember, the longer that team hangs around in the football game, the more confidence they get, the better Shane Boyd's going to throw the football, the better the receivers are going to catch. And that confidence just continues to grow as the second half goes on.
Well, as you said, with the play calling, too, with Boyd not giving that Arizona pass rush much of a chance to get to him. And they've also utilized their run game very effectively. As you see Benson on the carry here, works his way to the left and takes it into Arizona territory. A short pickup, but again, you kind of put those front three on their heels.
Well, that's the thing. That's all the reason that you run the football in the arena game is to try and slow down that pass rush. And San Antonio's done a nice job mixing it in just enough.
Boyd with that little toss to the outside on Stevens, and Stevens runs into a couple of Arizona defenders out there. Does a nice job of holding his ground and sets up third and short here for San Antonio.
Tyree Glasper slow getting up again. He's been banged up the last couple weeks. Awful tough competitor, plays through pain and injury. To see him there, 6'3", 270 pounds, and just a model football player. Tenacious, great character.
No Antosh Hawthorne tonight, and no Vic Hall in the secondary. Here's Boyd on third and short. Has lots of time. Now he's flushed out, rolls to his right, and sends this one back into the little player area for San Antonio, so brings up fourth down.
Well, this is where Arizona's striving to improve. They've held San Antonio to 1 of 5 on third down situations, and fourth down's kind of been their downfall. Talking about the Rattlers defense, they've given up fourth downs via penalty, via blown coverages. Fourth down and short. Let's see if this defense can get off the football field.
They did rise to the occasion a few times last week, especially early on against Pittsburgh, and proved extremely beneficial. Boyd trying to set up and get it to his big offensive lineman who had released Ruffins, the big 6'5", 320-pound target out of Louisiana Tech. And then the receiver on the far side, DJ Stevens, also coming in at the backside of the play. Marquise Floyd almost had the pick, but it's the Rattlers defense who turns it over on downs. Arizona football when we come back.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy one and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The Auction Indian community and Troon Golf invite you to tee up a pure golf experience at Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club. Ranked as one of the top 10 best courses you can play in Arizona by Golf Week, Ak-Chin Southern Dunes is known for its relaxed atmosphere, premier course conditions, and spectacular service. Just 30 minutes south of Sky Harbor Airport, Ak-Chin Southern Dunes features stunning golf and a casual yet elegant restaurant. Visit us at golfsoutherndunes.com for the best available rates. Ak-Chin Southern Dunes Golf Club, a pure golf experience.
28-24 Arizona on top. Big fourth down stop right here, Dale Hellestray.
Well, and obviously nice job by the defense. They get away with a little bit of a hold and able to get pressure on Boyd this time and get off the football field. But as you and I were talking during the break, got away with a little bit of a hold, of which that's what sets them back on fourth downs when they are set back, is the fact that they've had too many penalties.
Here's Davila. Stands tall in a pocket, fires on the far side looking for Kerry Reed. Penalty marker there in the secondary.
Illegal defense. Number 20, the Jack linebacker, was out of the box. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Arizona scoring on their first offensive snap of the game, but since then it's been a little choppy, and it goes back to what Coach Kevin Guy said earlier in the week, and he repeated with Chris Harris there at halftime, is we've got to get ourselves dialed in mentally. Poots, the motion man. Pressure comes. They set up that screen to Singleton. Singleton splits the defenders. Got a downfield block by Maurice Purify. He rumbles all the way down inside the 5. Well, they'll actually mark him out at the 6, it looks like. But a well-designed and well-executed play there by the Rattlers.
Really nice job on the screen. Alex Singleton, 5'11", 275 pounds. Watch him slide out here. You get some blockers out in front of him and gets those shoulders, lowers. Nice job by the receivers blocking downfield.
And that's a play we saw Arizona run a lot with Odie Armstrong, as Poots somehow manages to hang on, kind of bobbled it, and may have gotten a little assistance from the dasher board, but it all results in a touchdown for Poots and the Rattlers.
How on earth did he come up with this catch? Pretty good protection, nice touch on the ball, and you see DJ Johnson get a hand on the football, but Poots, great concentration, great hands, able to bring it in. And folks, you don't know how difficult that is. Balls tipped, you got dasher boards coming at you, and you know somebody's going to be hitting you from behind and still come up with the catch.
It was Poots as the PAT from Barth wide right there. Poots went head over heels last week and made a fabulous catch. Comes through with another big clutch grab here. Rattlers leading by 10, 34-24.
I like to go out on the town, hit the floor,
and double down.
Casino Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two, catch a game
With my crew,
Casino Arizona, win your way.
here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out today.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the two-time defending four-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a third straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
34-24, Arizona leading San Antonio. Let's check in with Chris Harris, who's got a special guest.
Thank you so much, guys. Here with Jonathan Cooper, the first-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals last year, the left guard. Your very first arena football game. What do you think?
It's really exciting. I used to watch it on TV, but to be here in person and see these hits, it's really, really exciting.
What do you think it would be like to be an offensive lineman in this game compared to the outdoor game?
I can't imagine. There's so many different rules. I mean, I guess it's all the same generally, but seems very different. A little, I don't know, they're both equally difficult maybe.
Now, there is a particular reason why you are here at this game. Please explain.
My college roommate, he said he had a tryout for the Rattlers, and could he come stay with me? I was like, sure, I'll bring you out here. And then they ended up signing him today for the game.
And that would be the kicker, Casey Barnes. Just talk about Casey.
Oh, man, love him to death. He's like a brother to me, 4.5 years in college as college roommates, and just a great kicker. I mean, you can't beat him.
Now, for you, I know you broke your fibula last year during the preseason, trying to get yourself back up to full strength. Talk about you and being excited to head into the next season.
Oh, man, I'm really, really excited. It's been a long off season with the treatment and training. I've had to stay here just about the whole year, so I'm excited to get back to it, and hopefully I can do well.
Appreciate the time so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's get it back upstairs, guys. That was Jonathan Cooper.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Well-placed strike there from Boyd to Berry on the big first down grab. And yeah, certainly wish Jonathan Cooper and the Cardinals well, a big part of their offensive line future.
Well, obviously going down in preseason, top pick last year, and they've kind of refurbished that offensive line. He's going to play a key role in that. How cool a story is that? Yeah. Room with Barth for 4.5 years. Hey, can you give me a ride down to the stadium? Hey, by the way, I need to stay because I'm playing tonight. I'm going to need a ride home.
Need some accommodations. Boyd with a laser. And right on the money to DJ Stevens.
Well, we knew Stevens was good. 12 TDs coming into the game, and the leader in all-purpose yards in arena football. Just runs a post pattern, another 3-step drop. Ball comes out early, splits the defenders, and you're wondering, did somebody blow a coverage? Whose coverage was it? And you see a defensive back's hands go in the air, you know somebody made a mistake.
Lindholm on for the point after, and the Talons not going away. 34-31, Rattlers clinging to a 3-point advantage.
Hey Rattler fans, I'm Chris Coraggio. Did you know that the busiest orthopedic hospital in the Valley is now the official hospital of your Arizona Rattlers? I'm talking about Oasis Hospital, which transforms the healthcare experience. They treat their patients just like family. And now they're part of the Rattlers family. Oasis is thrilled to partner up with the most exciting team in all of the Arena League. To learn more about Oasis Hospital, visit their website, oasishospital.com. And go Rattlers!
(34-31), Arizona leading San Antonio. Let's check in with Lindsey Smith.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, it's time for our Ask Dale segment. And Dale, your question tonight comes from Facebook fan Brandon Jensen. Now, Brandon asked, despite losing big names like Eisenhart and Gray, the Rattlers are still 5-0. Why do you think that they weren't fazed by these big losses?
Well, I think that goes back to the ownership, Ron Schertz, giving Coach Kevin Guy the opportunity to go out and recruit, and that's what they do. Coach Guy never satisfied, always building for the future, finds talented guys all around this country, spends a lot of time, has a lot of contacts, and that's why he continues to replenish the talent system here in the Rattlers organization. You see Joe Wyndham there. This front office is as good as there is in any sport professionally.
Yeah, and you can just see the difference. As the old saying goes, proof is in the pudding. Lindsey?
Well, Dale, I know that recruiting is a big part of Coach Guy's strategy, and maybe next year Kevin and I will be on his radar after our media challenge, of course.
Well, Kevin Ray's still hurt. He couldn't play yet. He's got a little scab on his knee. You got a scab on your heel, and you guys will be on IR.
These autographed Tyson Poots Arizona Rattlers t-shirt, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Lindsey. says the man who platooned every 7 plays in that media challenge.
I was just there when you needed me, and I, unlike our producer Rich Reed, did not blow the coverage that sent our game into overtime.
Rattlers football, 7:31 to go here in the third. Davila's pass, boy, right on the money as Miller reaching out, reels it in, and an Arizona first down.
Great route, great throw, on time. And I think the Rattlers realize that they're in for a football game tonight. And again, you can do anything you want as a coach to try and motivate your team, but it is human nature to look at this San Antonio squad and go, we're better than them. We don't have to prepare like we normally do, and now you find yourself in a dogfight.
You see it in every sport. As the pass comes across the middle to Maurice Purified, and Purified trying to stay upright and keep that foot off of the turf, or the knee off the turf rather, but still manages the first down catch.
We always talk about this job that Maurice Purified does. You're going to see him come clear across the field, a clear out route. He runs underneath. He does not like to go down, and you look at the replay and he really didn't go down.
Here's the pass to Reed. Reed doing a nice job of sidestepping the defender, and then got a nice little downfield block by Nick Miller. And the one thing you got to know about Nick Miller, of course, playing special teams in the NFL, he is not a guy that is going to shy away from contact. In fact, kind of seeks it out.
Well, the other thing I want to point out, obviously, when you're talking about Maurice Purify and Rod Windsor, who's not playing tonight, Tyson Pooch, you're talking about 3 of the best wide receivers in the league. Kerry Reed, very underrated as a receiver. What I love about this group is they are unselfish. They're all downfield blocking for each other, cheering each other on.
Davila on second down, lots of time, finds Miller, and Miller drags the defender with him back inside the 5. It was Kelvin Rogers out of Minnesota State on the coverage. Rogers coming in with 5 interceptions and 7 pass breakups, but has been pretty quiet here tonight thus far. Penalty marker down, and that will be charged against Arizona.
When you talk about this offensive line, first holding call of the night, and last week against Pittsburgh, I'd like to talk to Connie Kawhi, the offensive line coach, during the week. And Keith Williams had been the highest graded guy the previous 3 weeks. Last week it was Michael Huey, who graded out 94%, which is absolutely amazing for an offensive lineman. So much so that Connie, after he added it up, came with 94%, went back because he said, that can't be right. You can't score that high in my grading system. And he said he actually did.
Pressure comes. Davila hit as he throws, but he finds a wide open Kerry Reed. Davila would not go down and lets the defender know all about it.
Brandon Cisse right up the middle. You don't want to see your quarterback take hits like that. Gets rid of the ball just in time. You see working there on Jeff Maddox, and obviously a blown coverage downfield. Kerry Reed, sometimes those are the hardest to catch, waiting for the ball to come down, like going in for a layup with nobody around. All of a sudden you start thinking too much, but great execution by Davila and Kerry Reed.
4th touchdown catch of the season for Reed, as we'll get.
Ball start, 75, offense, 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the try.
Well, this was an issue last week. Coach Connie Kawhi said they spent as much time as he has in the last 2 years on extra point protection. The left side, Cornelius Dixon and Williams got beat quite a few times last week, and they wanted to shore that up before it came back to bite them.
Barth, despite the penalty, able to drive it home for the extra point. Go back and take another look at that touchdown pass.
The Latin Lades are able to sit in there with pressure and get rid of the football before it gets knocked down, and sign of a really, really good quarterback. Wonder if it's a miscommunication on the offensive line, if Jeff Maddox thought he had some help and he actually didn't, but Irregardless, you do not want to see your quarterback get hit in the face like that.
Davila bouncing up quick, and a few choice words with Brandon Cisse out of Texas Tech.
A little bit of a Brett Favre-ish when he used to go back and forth with some of the defensive linemen.
Well, great tickets to the Sunday, May 18th game at 3 p.m. with Spokane, and the rest of the Rattlers home games are still available. Help protect the pit by reserving your tickets today. Go to azrattlers.com or call 602-514-TDTD and be a part of the action. DJ Berry is back. A side-winding kick here from Barth. And a well-placed kick at that.
Well, you can't say enough about Barth, as we were talking about after the Jonathan Cooper interview. You're flying in for a tryout. You're flying in for a tryout. They say, hey, by the way, you're kicking for us tonight in a real game. And I think he's acquitted himself very nicely for the position that he's been put in.
Yeah, if you're joining us late, Craig Rattanamorn, the kicker, not available today as Barth was signed for today's game. As they go back to that little lineman pass they tried to get the touchdown on earlier on 4th down. The Ruffins found himself all alone, but that gap closed up quickly. But Rattanamorn having an accident on his motorcycle and was well enough to have played, but based on an earlier warning, in fact multiple warnings from Coach Kevin Guy and the team to stay off the bike during the season and a few other issues, he basically found himself out of a job for tonight. Whether it remains the rest of the season, we'll have to wait and see as Boyd finds Stevens, who circles back and splits the defenders and takes it all the way down to the Arizona 9-yard line.
Well, this San Antonio Talon team is not going to go away. You can see them walking around with a little more confidence. And kind of funny, you said a little pass to Ruffins on that previous play. Ruffins, number 96, listed at 6'5", 320.
Yeah, I think they've got different scales in San Antonio.
Either that or they're way up in altitude, because he's a lot bigger than 320 pounds, but great hands, able to pick up some yards, and this offense doing a nice job.
Here's Benson, who's played very well tonight, but that time that Rattlers defense able to string him out and run him along into the dashboards is Tyree Glasper, giving Benson an earful as well. Late third quarter play here. Rattlers on top by 10.
What this Rattler defense was going to try and do, they knew that they were going to be seeing a lot of three-step drop, which frustrates your pass rushers. So how do you counteract that? Well, you play tighter coverage. You play press coverage and make the quarterback have to hang on to the football a little bit longer. But San Antonio doing a nice job getting receivers open.
Stevens, the motion man. Boyd shuffles to his right, looks to the end zone, and pass incomplete. There's a late flag down, though, back at the line of scrimmage. Pass intended for Berry, but couldn't get his arms underneath it for the grab.
Figure you get a holding call on San Antonio. Colton Jones ended up on the ground.
Holding, number 28, offense. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Called it on the fullback, Benson. You know, and that's one of those things, you look at the replay, not necessarily holding. You sometimes get caught in a compromising position. Rattlers decline it, bring up 3rd down for this Talon offense.
Boyd looks to his left and finds a wide open Stevens. And boy, 2nd time tonight we've seen a big breakdown in Rattlers coverage. And that is not the guy you want to have the breakdown against.
Well, that's where it all comes down to. What's your mental mindset coming into the game? As a coach, you can accept getting beat physically sometimes, but that's the 2nd time now we've seen a receiver wide open, not a Rattler defender within 15 yards of him, and that just all goes to the mental part of this game, and were you prepared to play tonight?
Third touchdown catch of the night for Stevens. Came in with 12. Well, adds to his totals, which are already impressive.
Got to give the San Antonio team a lot of credit, hanging in there. Lee Johnson keeping the team together. See some highlights here of Johnson. We talked about him and the talent level DJ Stevens brought here. All-purpose yards leader in arena football. 12 touchdowns coming into the game, just continuing to add on to that total tonight.
And keep in mind, this is a San Antonio team that offensively has averaged only 42 points per game.
Well, this is one of those situations where if you're coaching staff in San Antonio, do you chance an onside kick here, or do you think your defense is playing well enough that you play regular football?
Our Keith Brown is back deep for the Rattlers, but he will not have the opportunity as Lindholm placing this one between the uprights. And Arizona will get the football out of the 5.
Well, remember, we talked about in the open, Lindholm, as good an onside kick artist as there is in arena football. I wouldn't be surprised here in the fourth quarter to see them attempt 1 or 2 of those. He kicks the ball into the ground and it goes into the air so high it leaves the frame of the film. Coaches can't even see where the ball is.
Should be the final play of the third quarter. Here's Purify across the middle. Purify using that length and that long stride to buy a few extra yards against the defender Kelvin Rogers. Arizona first down, and that indeed will complete third quarter play. And should be a great one as we head to the fourth here at Auction Field inside US Airways Center. Rattlers leading the Talons 41-38.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the 2-time defending 4-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a 3rd straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
How do the Arizona Rattlers kick off their season? By improving their training skills at Fast Foothills Acceleration and Sports Training, where you can perfect your speed, agility, strength. By honing in on these key skills, you will have the winning edge and ability to compete at the highest of levels. Foothills Sports Medicine. Train like the pros, perform like the pros.
The Arizona Rattlers are back on Cox 7, ready to defend their title. Don't miss exciting Rattlers action this season as Coach Kevin Guy and the Rattlers take on the AFL in their quest for a 3rd straight title. Stay with the Cox 7 sports team all season long as they bring you fast-paced, action-packed, crowd-pleasing Arizona Rattlers arena football. Championship football is back on Cox 7, Sunday, May 18th at 2:30 p.m. as the Rattlers host the Spokane Shock from the Snake Pit.
41-38, Arizona leading San Antonio as we head to the fourth quarter here at Auction Field inside US Airways Center. Kevin Ray, Dale Ellestree, Chris Harris, Lindsey Smith, our entire Cox 7 crew on hand. And the crowd feeling a little nervous because this is a San Antonio team, Dale, they saw coming in 1-5. We talked about the dominance of Arizona over San Antonio in their 7 previous meetings. San Antonio only 1 victory, that coming back in 2012. But it's a 3-point game here. Davila winding up, throwing deep. Kerry Reed there. And the pass just beyond his outstretched hand.
And those are the things you can tell this Rattler team just a little bit off. Nice route by Kerry Reed. Ball thrown a little bit long by Nick Davila. Usually this is absolute money. Little pressure in Nick's face. Not a whole lot, but ball just overthrown. Wouldn't be surprised to see Kevin Guy here in the 4th quarter try to pick up the tempo a little bit offensively. A little hurry up offense to try and get his team re-engaged.
And a penalty marker here, so a free play for Davila. He recognizes that. Pass is high. Maurice Purify. Catch and score.
I believe you're going to get an illegal defense call on the Talons. You have to have your hand on the ground as a defensive lineman. That hard count, I believe, got them again.
Lee Johnson, 3rd-year coach, looking on with great curiosity.
Illegal formation. Number 50 of the defense was not in his stance before the snap. That penalty is declined, resulting in the play as a touchdown.
And that hard count has been really helpful. You're going to see it right there. Hands not on the ground. That's an illegal defense when the ball's snapped. Get a free play. Gotta love the way that Maurice Purify goes up and gets the football at its highest point. Don't know what else you do if your DJ Johnson has him covered. Running stride for stride, Purify just jumps higher and is a little bit stronger.
Well, and that is just a classic example of why Kevin Guy, starting 3 seasons ago, made it an emphasis to get big receivers. And perfect example right there. Rattlers, after the PAT and the Purify touchdown, push the lead back to 10, 48-38, Arizona on top.
Star Multitainment Center, where kids are the stars.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy 1 and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Let's check out some scores around the league. A big battle there in the American Conference, finding Cleveland remaining unbeaten as they rout Pittsburgh 55-28. So they remain the class there in the East. Portland rallies, and they get their first win of 2014 as they stun Jacksonville. New Orleans having a hard time as Orlando shells them 63-48. And Spokane improves to 4-2 with their 53-41 victory. San Jose, LA early in this one, 14-12. And tomorrow, it's Iowa and Philadelphia. Barry back deep to receive, collects it off of the net. Straight ahead on the return, and out across the numbers he goes. And takes it out close to the 12-yard line for San Antonio.
Well, what San Antonio's done such a nice job of tonight, not turning the ball over, having some sustained drives. There's 13 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. You're within striking distance of this potent Arizona Rattler football team.
Yeah, Boyd with just the 1 interception, but to your point, they have And a terrific job of, in a lot of ways, playing keep away. As Stevens surging ahead across the 20 out to about the 22-yard line.
Just done a really nice job with the three-step drop, with the running game, with the, if you want to call it a screen game, actually shovel pass game, just keeping that pass rush off balance and off of Shane Boyd this evening.
Stevens, the motion receiver. Boyd, lots of time looking for Stevens and finds him as he slides across the turf to make the catch in front of the defender, Jeremy Kellum, and takes it down about the 7-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal to go for San Antonio.
Well, in that time, Boyd takes a 5-step drop, has a lot of time to throw the football. Stevens working one-on-one with Jeremy Kellum, and there's not a safety in the league who's going to be able to cover a receiver as good as DJ Stevens for that long.
And you credit the play calling from Lee Johnson and his staff here. They have done a nice job of keeping that Arizona front off balance. Berry, the motion receiver this time, looks for Ruffin, who leaps high. Fleet of foot, soft of hands, and a touchdown grab for the big offensive lineman. Boy, he has been working on that celebration for a while and finally got to break it out.
Well, as an offensive lineman, sometimes you do lay awake at night, the night before a game. What if I do catch a touchdown pass? What am I going to do? Great hands, great concentration. We're going to pass on the dance, but what great touch by Shane Boyd. And that's what Coach Guy was saying this week. Quarterbacks in arena football earn their money in the red zone with touch and accuracy.
And he showed it all right there. And the Talons just continue to hang around here at the Snake Pits. 48, 45, 11:02 to play here in the fourth.
I like to go out on the town, hit the floor,
And double down.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
I like to play a slot or two, catch a game.
With my crew.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Here they know my name.
They got my favorite game. If you're not here, you're lame.
Really?
Sorry.
Casino, Arizona, win your way.
Arizona's luckiest place has a new look. Check it out.
.45, Rattlers leading the Talons. Let's check in with Lindsey Smith.
Thanks, guys. Well, our social player this week is Tyson Poots. Now, Tyson's on Twitter at @tpoots and Instagram at @tpoots19. On Twitter, he loves talking sports, so fans, if you want to talk sports with Tyson, be sure to tweet him. And on Instagram, he's always posting pretty adventurous photos. Now, we also got a question from one of his biggest fans today, Miss Patel, who turns 9 on Monday, and she asked us if Poots will ever cut his hair. Well, I caught up with him before the game, and he said he was really close to cutting it last year, but decided not to. But a change may be coming soon. So, guys, we're not really sure, but I guess we'll have to keep an eye out.
Inquiring minds. Big bounce, ball is live, and San Antonio appears to have it, though the ball is still loose.
My goodness.
And what a scrum down there in the end zone. Arkeith Brown.
How many times did we see Lindholm do that last year to opponents, kicking the ball off the iron? San Antonio couldn't ask for a better opportunity. They have 1, 2, 3 opportunities to jump on the ball, and ball squirts loose. The Rattlers get the ball back.
Boy, great effort here by Brett Reese. You see him, he tried to one-hand it and then tap it back to his teammate there. Well, the Rattlers survived that one. Miller stays on the field as the motion receiver here. Davila, deep drop, finds Huey. Huey takes it ahead out to the 20-yard line as the Rattlers throw a little offensive line pitch and catch with the quarterback at San Antonio.
He's probably in Coach Guy's ear saying, hey, if Ruffins can do it, give me a shot. You know immediately if you're not picked up, the ball's coming to you, and we've seen him catch a couple footballs and show that athletic ability. And actually saw him jump a couple inches over a defender last time he went into the end zone.
Davila, room to operate, finds Reed running left to right, gets a great block downfield. Another one from Miller, and into the end zone for an Arizona touchdown. 30 yards, Davila to Reed for the Rattlers score.
Again, I can't say enough about the downfield blocking of this receiving core. Starts with pretty good protection, crossing route. Watch these blocks. Maurice Purify right there to spring him. Just a tremendous job. Nick Miller, everybody sacrificing for the good of the football team, being unselfish. That's exactly how you want your offense to work.
Second touchdown catch of the night for Reed. Didn't know Rod Windsor tonight as Barth on for the PAT, knocks it through. And for the third time here in this second half, the Rattlers extend their lead to 10. 8:59 to go. A wild ride here in the deserts. Rattlers on top.
The Coast to Coast EcoBoost Challenge sale event is being held in Glendale at Sanderson Ford. EcoBoost delivers more power, more torque, more performance, and more miles per gallon. Drive any EcoBoost Fusion, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or F-150 and get 2 Diamondback tickets. Buy one and get 2 season tickets, plus up to $1,000 EcoBoost bonus cash. Shop the EcoBoost Challenge at Sanderson Ford with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is a proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The fastest, most exciting football in the Valley is back as the 2-time defending 4-time world champion Arizona Rattlers try to battle their way to a 3rd straight Arena Bowl title. Catch your Rattlers as they strike against the Spokane Shock. Tickets on sale now at azrattlers.com or 602-514-TDTD.
We talked about the Rattlers enjoying that home schedule early to begin the season, but a lot of road work ahead. Key games, you got at Jacksonville, at Portland, and Spokane. Then you're at LA. First look at the LA Kiss. Sabercats, and then more road action. Portland, San Antonio. They have certainly utilized Auction Field for home field advantage. 33-5 here at home since 2011. Berry again back deep to receive, and Barth again with another well-placed kick. Check out with Chris Harris.
Hey guys, Kerry Reed, he's only got 6 catches on the season, but 5 of them have been for touchdowns. He's definitely Mr. Efficiency on the offensive side of the ball. Guys?
Well, no doubt about it. You know, we talk, it seems like, each and every week about Kerry Reed being such an unselfish player. You touched on it earlier about just the commitment each of these players has to one another. And I keep going back to 2012 when this guy had 184 catches and 2,200 yards. As they go a little shovel pass outside to Berry, had 47 touchdowns. Last year, not even close to that, but just continues to make the big plays when they need him to on both sides of the football.
Well, that's the thing. It's both sides of the football. They needed him at Jack linebacker last year. He stepped in and was as good as any Jack linebacker in arena football. He's kind of taken on that role again this year. He's playing more offense tonight, so Allen Bubba Chapman, number 24, getting some playing time at that Jack linebacker for his first action of the season.
There is Benson, who always looking for a big collision.
Well, and Alan Chapman, 5'11", 185 pounds. Welcome to arena football. Might as well have one of your first hits against Mr. Benson, 250 pounds plus.
Brings a third down. Boy, pressure in his face. Pass comes out to Benson, and Dukes with a terrific job. And now we're going to have a penalty flag. And it looks like it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback by Jean-Baptiste. As Kevin Guy is not happy.
Personal foul. Wanting the passer. Number 96 in the defense. 10-yard penalty at the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Coming right up the middle, right into your living room, and ball's gone, and they don't like to see you drive the quarterback into the ground, but I have to side with Baptiste and Coach Guy. They're not sure that's roughing the passer, but the flag went down. You give them the Talons a first down.
Well, and it's even harder with those big guys once they get that lean forward. Boy, pressure in his face again, looking deep for Berry, on the money, touchdown, Talons.
Well, you see the way this Talon team is playing tonight, and you're wondering, how's the team only won one football game? You got to give Lee Johnson and his coaching staff a ton of credit. Just making plays as his game's gone along, just running a deep post pattern, excellent execution, beating man-to-man coverage, and scoring the touchdown.
And Lynn Holmes' point after is good. And once again, we have a 3-point game.
Good protection, better throw and catch, and just a nice job by this Talon team continuing to hang in there. And Kevin, we've both seen it. Teams get off to rough starts, and sometimes it's hard to get that ship turned back in the right direction. But the one thing that you cannot say about this Talon team is that they don't play hard. They're playing very, very hard tonight and executing very well.
First touchdown grab of the season, by the way, for Berry. And keeps his team in it.
Well, I'm going to keep on calling for it till I'm right. So I think with a weapon like Lindholm, if you're going to try and take the lead in this game, I think it's time for an onside kick if you're Coach Johnson. And the Rattlers are expecting it, but they were expecting it last week too and had trouble.
And very nearly didn't need the onside kick last time, as Lindholm with a perfectly placed kick went off of that bottom crossbar, took an awkward bounce, and if not for the bulldoggedness, if you will, of Arkeith Brown, San Antonio would have recovered in the end zone and had their first lead of the night. So let's see what the Talons and Lindholm have in store for the Rattlers. And here is the onside kick, and right into the hands of Jeremy Kellum.
Well, and again, sometimes, as last week, Lindholm's best onside kick is pounding the ball into the ground, making it bounce high. That's what the Rattlers were expecting. Lee Johnson and his staff try to trick them a little bit, but that's not their best opportunity. But still, remember, we've seen a number of onside kicks that are recovered by the offense. Remember, the field is shrunk, more difficult to score sometimes.
That is the case for the Rattlers. Not so much. Purify from Davila for the score.
And then there's other teams that take advantage of recovering an onside kick. Didn't let me finish my sentence.
9 touchdown passes now in the night for Nick Davila.
All starts with that protection. You give Nick Davila time to throw the football and step into his throw, survey the field. You're going to have a hard time covering his receivers.
PAT is good.
Nice route by Purify, and as we've talked about a lot, none of these receivers like to go down once they catch the football.
Score should be 62-52 as they're having some scoreboard issues. Now they've got it corrected. 4:50 to go here in the fourth. But the San Antonio offense has been extremely resilient all night long. You just see for Nick Davila, his magic continues. 7 touchdowns or more in each game this season. And only 4 interceptions, and just threw that 4th one in the first half here tonight.
Tremendous start to the season. Coaching staff finds a way to get this team ready to play each and every week, even though they have a target on their back as 2-time defending Arena Bowl champions.
Here's the kick from Barth. Barry awaits, and that one takes an odd bounce. Benson, the big fullback, made the catch, but not exactly the guy that's going to have any breakaway speed on the return game.
Well, I think if you're the Arizona Rattlers, you take a look at the job that Barth has done tonight, kicking extra points, kickoffs, and understanding that he was hanging out with Jonathan Cooper, the first-round pick a year ago, the Arizona Rattlers, just thinking he's coming in for a tryout. Not in his wildest imagination did he think he'd be kicking for real tonight.
Cooper may have to renovate his house. He may have a guest staying a little longer. Boyd out of his own end zone, turns, throws, penalty marker thrown, completes the pass to Barry. And the San Antonio coaching staff livid about something.
Illegal defense. Number 24, Jack linebacker out of the box. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
And there's the newcomer, Alan Bubba Chapman.
Well, the thing about the Jack linebackers, you have a certain radius that you have to stay in until receivers get outside, and sometimes you get a little bit excited. His first action tonight, sometimes you want to try and jump a route. Now he'll be able to go over and think about it for a little bit.
Yeah, because so much of your football instinct takes over, especially in that position. Here's Benson, the big fullback. Another penalty marker thrown. Boyd pointing to Arizona, to his coaching staff again.
Well, it's the same official who threw the illegal defense on the last play.
Illegal formation. Defense, both of the linebackers are on the same side of the field. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
And those are the penalties that will absolutely frustrate you. You see both Glasper and Kerry Reed on the same side. You can't do that by rule. They both know that. They're both veterans, and it's those little things like that that will drive a coaching staff crazy.
So 1st and 5. Boyd, lots of time, winds up, throws deep. Another marker thrown, looking for Stevens. Pass incomplete. And player still down. Well, the Rattlers defense has played pretty cleanly throughout the night, but this is not the time to start having miscues.
Well, I'm not so sure as you watch Tyree Glasper there outside the box. I did not see that on that particular play, but Need to be extra careful if you're the Rattlers right now.
Deep drop and another flag thrown, looking for Stevens, and we'll get another one downfield. That one was easy to see as Jeremy Kellum got a fistful of jersey.
Shift of the offense. By rule, that penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 20 of the defense. That penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
And Kevin Guy wanting an explanation as to why it would not be offsetting. And Scott Campbell, the referee, trying to calm Kevin Guy down. And all of a sudden, on this series alone, 25 yards worth of penalties, and a series that San Antonio started back at the 2.
Coach Guy not real happy. And again, common sense tells you penalty on offense, penalty on defense. They should be offsetting.
And boy, now you got coaches throwing headsets. Lee Johnson tossing his hips at about 15 yards. They were trying to get the play clock reset.
San Antonio, that's the first time out of the half. 30 seconds in length.
So it is forced San Antonio to burn a timeout. They did end up resetting the play clock. And there was more than enough time to get the snap off, but I'm not sure if they're saying that the play clock, or the game clock rather, should also be moved back up.
Well, that's what they seem to be arguing right now, but
so there may be about 8 seconds you could see being put back on here if they're able to communicate their message. But Lee Johnson with a little wink.
Well, I'm not going to tell you, played a lot of years. I don't know if I ever convinced an official to change his call. But you always try.
So game clock stays at 2:25. Here's Boyd, deep drop, finds a wide open Stevens again. Kellum diving, he sidesteps 2 defenders en route to a San Antonio score.
Well, I know Coach Guy is upset at some of those penalties. A couple of them very iffy, but he's going to be more upset with the tackling on that play, as San Antonio kind of taking a little bit of time here on this extra point. Remember, time continues to run until the ball is kicked.
High snap on the PAT, but Lindholm.
Extra point by Lindholm is good. A minute 40
Money.
to go, fourth quarter. It's your Rattlers.
And once again, a 3-point game, 62-59, 1:47 to go.
See Stevens right here. He's going to run right here, covered by Kellum. If you let him catch the football, come up and make the tackle, and not only do you miss one, you miss 2, and those are the things that a coach looks at and says, you know what, we're a little sloppy here tonight, and that's all going to go back to their key word this week, which was mindset. And do we have the right mindset, the right maturity level to take care of business against a team that we feel that we're better than?
And last week it was LeSueur who lit up that Arizona secondary.
Now you see that mindset was the #1 overriding factor the coaches talk about. That's a little bit iffy. They've pretty much taken care of the football, had the 1 turnover, and had trouble collapsing that pocket on defense. 0 sacks. on the night and not a whole lot of pressure on Shane Boyd.
And he has gotten better as the game has gone on, no doubt about it. As the Rattlers again anticipating the onside kick. Here it is, that high pop-up. Reed's got it, scoops, and scores.
Well, they made some changes on their hands team, onside kickoff return team. They wanted guys to be a lot more aggressive, take care of that front line, and you see some guys go up and be awful physical, allowing Kerry Reed to catch the football. Again, that fell under Connie Kawai's watch. They worked on it this week, watched film, spent extra time on the practice field, and as a coach, you love to see it come to fruition on Saturday night.
And we have reached
1 minute time rules are now in effect. San Antonio has 2 timeouts. Arizona has all 3 timeouts. Try for point.
the 1 minute mark here. And Kerry Reed, what is it Mark Jackson, head coach of the Warriors and former NBA analyst, used to say? Mama, there goes that man. He has made his mark felt once again for the Arizona Rattlers as Barth calmly punching through the PAT.
Well, we talked about it. There's certain things you have to do as a championship team. There's some games you don't play your best. You're not sharp. You're missing some guys, but you just win because you're better. Not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a masterpiece, but this is one of those games, and the Rattlers right now are in the driver's seat.
Here's tonight's Ultrastar Multitainment Center at Auction Circle play of the game. Check out ultrastarauction.com for more.
And Kerry Reed, again, is going to get the credit there, but the change on the front line and personnel, they wanted them to be more aggressive. Your job for 3 of those guys is to go take on somebody who's covering that kick so that one of your guys can recover it. They did a tremendous job there, and it paid off, not only recovering the football, but taking it into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's really the difference right there. Just no hesitation, and you have to have that fearless mindset when you're playing special teams, but this one is far from over. Barth, a high but short kick as Barry leaping to get it before it hits the nets. Barry still dragging defenders, and finally Cliff Duke's able to lock on and bring him down. Leaves 53.4 left. Now keep in mind San Antonio had to burn a timeout in that previous possession, so they're down to 2 timeouts remaining.
Arizona, you allow them to complete shorter footballs, come up, make the tackle, keep them inbounds. Either use those timeouts or let that clock run.
Stevens, the motion receiver. Boyd, deep drop, pass, wide open, Barry. Barry, penalty marker thrown. Barry spins at the 10 and finally pushed out of bounds down near the 5-yard line. But this one may be coming back.
In that area where holding sometimes comes about.
Holding, number 28, offense. First down.
And that's the big fullback Benson. But you got to be a little concerned about what's going on in the Rattlers secondary the last 3 offensive series for San Antonio.
Benson working on Tyree Glasper, and again, as an offensive lineman, I'm going to go to bat for him. I thought his hands were kind of inside the framework, and officials saw it differently.
And of course, not only did they lose the yardage, but they lost 10 seconds off the clock. Quiroga, the motion receiver now. Boyd throwing deep. Quiroga there, defender there. Archie Brown leaping for the catch. And the interception, his 2nd of the night.
Well, you had pointed out the last 3-4 plays, this Rattler secondary struggled a little bit, but Brown running stride for stride. You can see him out here. Boyd going for the home run. Doing a nice job running with Quiroga, and jumps, gets the ball at its highest point. You see all the Rattler receivers do this. You see their defensive backs. You know they're taught this. Great leaping ability and concentration comes down with the football.
Boy, and that's a play that when Shane Boyd looks at the tape, he would love to have back, because there were two defenders there, Kellum and Brown, who eventually made the interception, but he missed a wide open Stevens, who was standing at about the 20. As a lot of extracurricular activity following that play.
Well, the only thing you don't want to have happen, and remember, in the last minute, you have to gain positive yards to keep the clock moving and make San Antonio use their timeouts. The only thing you don't want to have happen is have Nick Davila's hand stepped on or something in one of those extracurricular activities.
Or he's purified using that opportunity to carry on a conversation with third-year head coach Lee Johnson over on the far side. So 33.6 remaining. Davila again gets a little push from his big fullback Singleton, gets a yard. And they have to burn their final timeout. So for the Rattlers, they only need one more snap here.
Well, nice job by that offensive line. When defensive line knows what's coming and all you have to do is gain positive yards. Again, you just want Nick to get up after this last play and be healthy and gain a half a yard.
And Davila, quick snap. They wind the clock. And that should do it. Did not come easy by any stretch. But you said it, Dale. Sometimes you just got to find a way to win, survive, if you will. And that's exactly what the Rattlers did tonight against a very formidable opponent in San Antonio. But at the end, it's the Rattlers who improved to 6-0 and match their best start in franchise history. San Antonio slips to 1-6, 69-59 our final. We'll be back to wrap things up after this timeout.
The Auction Indian community and Troon Golf invite you to tee up a pure golf experience at Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club. Ranked as one of the top 10 best courses you can play in Arizona by Golf Week, Auction Southern Dunes is known for its relaxed atmosphere, premier course conditions, and spectacular service. Just 30 minutes south of Sky Harbor Airport, Auction Southern Dunes features stunning golf and a casual yet elegant restaurant. Visit us at golfsoutherndunes.com for the best available rates. Auction Southern Dunes Golf Club, a pure golf experience.
Are you a weekend warrior? Do you know where to turn to if you get hurt? We do. At Foothill Sports Medicine Physical Therapy Centers, we provide an individualized hands-on treatment plan based on your specific injury. We aim to restore function and to prevent re-injury. Call or stop by any of our 12 convenient valley-wide locations to receive a free assessment.
The Arizona Rattlers are back on Cox 7, ready to defend their title. Don't miss exciting Rattlers action this season as Coach Kevin Guy and the Rattlers take on the AFL in their quest for a third straight title. Stay with the Cox 7 sports team all season long as they bring you fast-paced, action-packed, crowd-pleasing Arizona Rattlers Arena Football. Championship football is back on Cox 7, Monday at 7 p.m. Watch the encore as the Rattlers host the San Antonio Talons from the Snake Pit.
The Rattlers hold on against a very hungry San Antonio team tonight, 69-59, as they improve to 6-0 on the season. As we take a look at our Casino Arizona Talking Stick Resort game recap. Rattlers outgained them 309-277. See a big advantage with rushing yards, but 2 turnovers, and boy, the last one proved to be significant.
Really, really big. And you look at Nick Davila's 9 touchdowns. Yes, he did have the interception, but just off to as good a start as I've ever seen in arena football. Let's give this Rattler team credit. Yes, we give San Antonio credit. They came in here and played hard. You knew they're going to give the Arizona Rattlers their best shot. But give these Rattlers credit. We know that all 18 games aren't going to be pretty.
Right.
There's going to be some games you just got to find a way to win. They did that tonight. They didn't play their A game, and that'll give the coaching staff something to get on them about next week. But let's give them credit for gutting out a win.
Let's go down to the field, check in with Chris Harris.
Thank you so much, Guy. Here are 2 of the stars of the game, Kerry Reed and Keith Brown. Keith, 2 interceptions on the night defensively. You guys were able to slow them down at the end. What was the key?
Well, I knew we just had to come out as a defense. We didn't start fast, and, I was just able to make plays for my team, and that's what I'm here for, is to make plays. So I was able to make them plays.
Take us through the interceptions you had there.
Well, one of them, the guy kind of got across my face, and I just kept playing, and he tipped the ball, and I was able to get my hands on it. And the last one, he just threw it up. We were taught to go get the ball at the highest point, and I just attacked the ball.
Another big play came on special teams when you recovered the kickoff in the end zone. Talk about that play.
Well, when I'm the PP and the ball hit the net and hit the ground, that I'm supposed to recover. So I was able to get back there and recover the ball.
What was the key to this win? Didn't come as easily as you might have anticipated coming into it.
Well, we just had to finish and come together as a team, and then at the end, we all came together as Rattlers, and we was able to pull it out.
Appreciate the time, Keith. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's now bring it over to Kerry Reed, playing both sides of the ball. 2 touchdowns on the offensive side. Take us through the plays.
Pretty much on one of them, the first touchdown, it was a man in the backside corner. I think he was kind of guessing, and I just made a play. In the second one, they went to a zone, and I came free and then run after the catch. We always talk about it.
Another big play on special teams as well, like Keith. You had the kickoff return and a touchdown off the onside kick. Take us through that play.
First of all, I got to give it up to the guys up front, the guys that's blocking. The guys coming down full speed. So first, I got to give it up to them. Them guys took it on, so opened it up for me to come in and step in and make a play.
Smart man spreading the wealth there. I like that. Hey, 6-0 start. That ties a franchise record from the 2011 campaign. How does that feel?
It feels good. We just got to get in there, get back to the classroom, and prepare right and take every opponent serious like we always do.
5 of the first 6 games of the season were here at home. Now you hit the road for 5 of the next 7, starting off with Jacksonville next week. Your thoughts on getting out there?
All we got to do is just focus on what we need to do. And I know we got a road trip. I just think we mentally prepare and physically prepare. We'll be all right.
Appreciate the time, Kerry Reed.
Thank you.
All right, that is 10 straight wins for the Rattlers, dating back to last season, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. And I think the key word there, mentally prepare. And you touched on it early in the game, and we talked about it throughout, that when you're not completely dialed in on your opponent, and you face a hungry team like San Antonio, you can find yourselves in a dogfight as they did here tonight.
Well, understand, there's no team, I don't care what sport you're talking about, that is going to be dialed in for every game of the season. It's just not possible. It's a goal, but you'll never attain it. So you have to win some of these games ugly. And they found a way to do that. They're not going to be mentally prepared as sharp as they like to be for every game. That's when you got to dig deep, and you got to find a way in the fourth quarter to win the football game.
6-0 and 34-5, maybe more importantly, here at Auction Field since 2011. Want to remind you, more great action for the Rattlers coming up, because that road trip, on the road the next couple of weeks. Saturday, the 3rd of May at Jacksonville, and at Portland on the 10th. You got to be able to watch the games on ESPN3. Our next telecast of Rattlers football on Cox 7 is coming up Sunday, May 18th, when Eric Meyer and the Spokane Shock return for the second time to the Snake Pit to take on your Arizona Rattlers. And of course, if you can't be here live, be sure to tune in to Cox 7 HD 1007 or online at cox7.com at 2:30 for the pregame show with our very own Chris Harris. We thank you for joining us here, as always, from Auction Field at U.S. Airways Center. And special thanks to our fabulous crew, the guys on camera down in the field, Garrett Savage, Weston Watson, Don Shea Brown, Chris Schmoll back in the truck, Gib White, Rich Ryan, and of course, Jared Don is on stats, Beth Pockman, our stage manager, Lindsey Smith, Chris Harris, and Dale Hellestray, our director, Pete Gordon, producer, Rich Reed. I'm Kevin Ray saying good night from the Snake Pit. The Rattlers win it 69-59.